coming down pretty good already. We're on our way home from church, and it was sleeting pretty heavy when we got in the car, and then by the time we got out of the parking lot it started snowing. I'd say we probably already got half an inch. It's been snowing for not even 10 minutes. The road's already completely covered. They're saying that we could get anywhere from 7 to 10 inches, and some places could see over a foot by like 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. So said we should be getting about an inch an hour. This is what it looks like here in southwest Missouri right now. Kind of glad I don't have to go check traps in this tomorrow. And it's supposed to be a wind chill tomorrow morning of about like 7. So I don't know what it's like where you guys are, but this is what we're looking at for the next at least 12 hours. Hey Brian. We're headed home from church. Figured I'd just see of the snow that we're getting right now. You can hear better now that the heater's off.
I didn't think about that.
But yeah. This is here in southwest Missouri. It's only been snowing for maybe 10 minutes here. And we've already got an inch, so it's not too cold right now, but they're saying in the morning we're supposed to have a wind chill of about 6. So I'm sure our dirt road we live on's got a lot of ice on it already. It's got a lot of steep corners, or steep hills and sharp corners. So there goes the highway department. Yeah. Say we could wind chill of 5. Yeah, that's about where we're going to be tomorrow. And somewhere around 10 inches of snow, possibly more. Our meteorologist said that it depends on how much sleet we get. If we get a lot of sleet, we won't get much snow. So, and I'd say we got probably at least a 1/4 inch of sleet before it started snowing, and got about ½ inch of snow now. So.
Okay, we'll eat when we get home, maybe.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to check traps tomorrow. Now this light that we're at, it's probably been here 15 years, and I've sat here for 30 minutes before with a red light.
Okay, baby, we'll eat here when we get home.
This is like one of the worst red lights in America.
Okay, baby, we'll eat when we get home. I'm about to run it.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time. I've ran this light many times. Sitting here waiting. We'll eat when we get home. Can't see very much out that one, though.
Honey.
Yeah. It's coming down pretty good.
Okay.
Kenzie, look out the window. So,
He's falling
yeah.
apart.
Is it snowing where you guys are?
Mackenzie.
I don't blame her. I'm about to start crying. Waiting on this stupid light.
Okay.
just back up a little bit. Oh, there it goes. It's changing. That light's yellow.
Okay, honey, we're going. Okay, ready?
You gonna trap this weekend at your friend's house?
Let's get across before these
Yeah.
cars come.
Our trapping season's over, unfortunately, but hopefully next year we'll have extended season. Talking about extending it for at least 4 weeks or so. So, yeah, I hope so too. Because right now would be a killer time to be out there getting them coyotes. You know, the last week and a half I was set out, I caught double my number of coyotes just last week and a half. So.
Honey.
Yeah, I'm sure, I had to pull my traps Monday. I'm sure I could have caught at least 1 or 2 more coyotes by now. So, I know a lot of people don't like to trap late season coyotes because they start getting rubbed and whatnot, but I'm not real worried about the fur, It's nice to be able to sell the fur and get a little bit of money back from it, but it's more of a management thing for me.
Honey.
So yeah, there's over an inch on our dirt road here.
We're on the dirt road, honey. Okay, we'll
Yeah, I'd say last night would have been a killer night to have traps out with the storm coming in, and I bet tonight would be an awesome night up until about midnight. Probably catch a lot of bobcats tonight if you had sets out with all this snow coming in, ice. It's crazy how much the headlights glare in the camera. But why would I want you to shut your headlights off?
Get me the... Does that matter?
No, I don't want you to do anything. But, yeah,
These are my fog lights.
I'm sure I'll do a video tomorrow. We did get possible 12 inches, but
Lots of the big baby clothes.
they better not be closed. Yeah, I'll do some videos this summer. I'll have some, how-to trapping videos, some information trap videos. I won't have catch videos, of course, because it's not season, but I still have a lot of information videos I can do, how-to videos I can do. I'm thinking about doing some like cast iron cooking over campfires and coals and stuff like that. I use cooking like that a lot when we're camping, and I used to do videos for the YouTube, my old YouTube that I had. So I'm probably gonna do some of those this summer. So I don't know what all yet, but we'll have some videos coming. They won't be near as often, they won't be by daily checks, but I'll at least try to get a couple videos a week out.
Honey.
I'm not driving. I'm not texting either. So, hey,
Hey, baby.
what is your problem?
Are you on? Oh.
Information's gonna help somebody. I did that video about a week and a half ago or so, or something like that, of me washing the skunks and stuff. I didn't know if that video would help anybody really, but I've had at least 5 or 6 people message me about that video and how it was, they got something from the video and it helped them. So I'm glad that many people got something out of it. That, it definitely makes it worth it for me.
Okay, honey, we're almost home.
Hey PA, how you doing tonight? We're almost home. We were on the way home from church and it started snowing, and I figured why not go live and show something cool. I guess cool. And say where we live, we get a whole lot of snow like you guys up in PA and stuff like that do.
Hey, baby. Look,
Hey, outdoors
snow,
with Big Matt.
snow, look.
Hey, we'll be home in literally like 30 seconds. Not even.
I know, baby. I
Hey,
know.
when we get home, you can put your boots on and go play in the snow. Just got a notification that Dunlap is live on Facebook. They're in Nashville right now. Not that there's anything in Nashville I would want to see, but 74 and 72. Yeah, we're supposed to. They're saying wind chill of 6 in the morning.
We're at 21 now.
So, and they're saying 6 to 10 inches of snow. Some places, he said, we'll see a foot of snow. Snow drifts, could be 14-inch snow drifts in places because the wind's supposed to be kind of heavy tonight. So, yeah, that's where we're getting right now. So, we'll get out and show you guys more of what it looks like out here that's not through a windshield. That light don't really help. It's crazy, it looks green. Looks like Christmas lights. You told you're a beast about an hour ago. Yeah. So, yeah. That's what we're looking at. Lots and lots and lots of snow tonight. Yeah, we've had freezing rain last night and all day today. And then we're supposed to get a lot of snow tonight. Is she gonna play in the snow? It's all Brian. You guys go ahead and sub to each other. We gotta help each other out, show each other support, because it's hard sometimes being in the trapping industry to get a whole lot of support. So, yeah, I'm not sure why that looks green. Does that look green to you? You got 15,000 views today on one video. Yeah, that's awesome. Even if it's antis, every view helps. Believe it or not. Not sure why. Why what? Say, to me on my phone, that light looks green. And it's not. It's white light on white snow, but it looks green on my phone. Not sure why. So many views, antis, dude. They see a video, they'll share it into a group, and people will watch it and watch it and watch it and watch it. A lot of times that's all it takes. If you look at a lot of channels, a lot of times people will have 10, 15 times as many views on a video as they do subscribers. So that's a problem with a lot of people, is they'll subscribe to someone's channel and they'll watch most of the videos that channel puts out, but they don't ever subscribe to it. So, and subscribing to channels helps a lot. So, even if not, being able to monetize your stuff, having more subscribers helps YouTube be able to, what would you call it, advertise your videos or recommend your videos. I have people all the time messaging me that they seen one of my videos as a recommendation off of somebody else's. Yeah, that's what I do. Just tell them thank you. There ain't no point in arguing with them or saying anything because you ain't gonna change their mind. I did have somebody tell me today. I don't remember if it was on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, what it was, but they said at least you could use a killing type trap so the animal doesn't suffer. So I commented back. I said it's for people that think animals suffer that is the reason I can't use a kill type trap in my estate. Think about that. That's what I said. Because here in Missouri, we can't use snares. We can't use body grips on ground. You know, the largest body grip we can use on the ground is a 155. There ain't a whole lot you can catch with a 155. And we can use cable restraints, but, you know, that... And we can't have entanglement, so... You know, again, that's not a kill trap. You know, we're not allowed to really use any kill traps here. We can use like 330s on beaver and stuff, but that's about it. You can't even get somebody to leave a dislike. The key thing to getting views on your YouTube videos is the title. A lot of times what you put in the title, like if you do some kind of video where you can put coyote trapping in your title or trapping for beginners or something like that, those are things that people are going to type into the YouTube search bar a lot. And your video is more likely to be recommended to them if it's got this. So even once you post a video, you can go and add tags to your videos. I always add like coyote trapping, bobcat trapping, trapper, trap life. I always add all those tags to my, just to help it out. You know, if I do all that and one person sees the video because of the tags or whatever I put on it, it's worth doing all that to me. So it's just something else to think about. A lot of, you know, YouTube will recommend your video based on what the title of your video is and what the title of another video is. So if somebody types in trapping for beginners and it pops up a Coon Creek outdoor video or pops up Trapper J or 330 Maniac or something like that, and they watch that, there's a chance that your video might be recommended to them from watching that video. I've had a couple people find my YouTube from Trapper J's videos. You know, they'll be watching one of Trapper J's videos and it'll recommend one of mine, so they'll watch mine and then subscribe to my channel. So sometimes you gotta play the words on your videos, whether it be your title or tags or whatever it is. But I'm gonna have to go in and plug my phone in. It's at like 4%. It's gonna plug in. It's gonna die, and it's pretty cold out here. So there's the snow. You guys seen our snow? Doing series, yeah. Say you're gonna go watch it down my CPA. Do a series on how to trap, yeah. Any kind of beginner video or how-to video usually will get a decent view amount. Just like on my TikTok videos, my most viewed videos on TikToks are the ones that get me restricted all the time. Because they're the ones people want to see, but they don't care. How long have I been live? I've been live for 21 minutes. Sorry, I got a little stand here that I needed to get. I can figure it out. My daughter's messed it up. There we go. How much longer? I don't know how much longer. I don't really have a time frame on my videos. It's just, I guess whenever I run out of stuff to say or people get tired of listening. Could be 5 more minutes, could be an hour, I don't know. All depends. One of the pens at our church, my daughter got hold of and broke in half. So, you need to place an order from me? No, I was coming in. I had to come in to plug my phone in so it didn't die. How many of you guys have seen my commercial that I posted about 2 or 3 days ago?
Thank you.
This pen will still work, but not for her. Maybe. Loved it. Appreciate it. I mean that commercial was definitely a kind of a long road for me because for someone like me that commercial cost quite a bit of money, and I definitely tried to put a lot of thought into it because he first told me, what if you have 30 seconds, what would you want it to be? And it's a little different from I've had 3 or 4 different versions I've sent him, different things I wanted to do. Just because it's hard to know exactly where you want to go. I didn't want to talk a whole lot about trapping supplies, just because there's, dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of trap supply companies. So the monthly box was the one unique thing that I have that, as far as I know, nobody else has. Not yet. I'm sure at some point somebody a lot bigger than me will start doing it, and mine will probably kind of dwindle away at that point. But yeah, it was the one thing that I could think of that I could put on the video that would be different than anybody else that might catch people's attention. Will you text Leo and tell him yes? He texted me and asked me if we made it home. I'm just gonna throw this pen away. Is that good?
It's funny because I just texted him.
Yeah. Yeah, I tried to share that commercial out as much as I can without getting in trouble from different people and groups and whatnot. It's really hard to advertise sometimes because a lot of people take it wrong, especially when it comes to like anything YouTube. I posted the commercial on my YouTube and tried sharing the YouTube video of the commercial, but most people don't like sharing when you share YouTube videos anywhere because they think you're just trying to get attention for yourself and not really trying to help anybody else. So a lot of people haven't taken the time to watch anything of mine ever, so they don't know. Everything I do is for other people, and I'm not all about myself like a lot of the people are anymore. A lot of people are all about themselves and what they can do for themselves. So most of my videos, I try to do as much as I can to help everybody else. That's why when I do catch something, I'll show me talking and the animal, but it'll be like maybe 45 seconds, and then 10 minutes after that will be about the remake, why I do what I do, whatnot, why this set might have been different than the last set, stuff like that, because I want to teach other people as much as I can. I'm by no means somebody that knows a lot about. I wouldn't say I don't know a lot about trapping, because I do know a lot about trapping, but by no means like an expert or somebody that's got years and years and years and years of experience. Oh, you're gonna go place the order? I appreciate that, Scab. Uh, I hope we had a few businesses close early today. The bank closed at 2 o'clock and we got there at 2:08 today. And that really made me mad. It took me about an hour to kind of get over that one. And then I seen the bank made a post on Facebook, and then it kind of made me mad again. But is that good? But hopefully the bank's open tomorrow. Hopefully the post office is open tomorrow. But if we do get a foot of snow like they're saying, I'm not really expecting any of that stuff to be open tomorrow. So, Scab, if you make an order, I can't promise you it will go out tomorrow. If the post office is not open, then I can't do much about it. If the grocery store where I drop my UPS packages is not open, I can't drop my UPS packages off there. Um, so, and I don't know what the weather could be like between me and you, so I always tell people when they're talking about an order that I shipped, they're like, mine says that weather delay. Weather here ain't bad, and I'm like, well, what's the weather like between me and you? Because it could be stuck somewhere. There was last year. I think I sent like 5 packages out in one day, and they were all like 3 days later than they were supposed to be, because most of them went to the same like distribution center in Kansas, and that distribution center lost its power for like a day and a half, so everything just sat there until the power came back on and they got it all sorted out. So when that happens, there ain't much I can do about it. So yeah, I've had quite a few people. My last YouTube video was last catches of the season, and I've had a lot of people that said,
Where are you going?
it was great watching your videos this year. Can't wait to see you again next year. And it's like, well, I mean, I'm not gonna stop making videos until next year. I'll still have some. It's not gonna be the daily videos that I did during trapping season, because I won't have checks and stuff like that. But I'm still gonna try my best to have at least a couple videos a week of different, maybe how-to videos, information videos, maybe different kinds of trapping equipment. I don't know. Like I said, I might even start doing some of the cast iron cooking video. Talking about going to Louisiana trapping. Yeah, he gets to go a lot of places and trap. So he has the means to do that. I've had lots of people ask me if I wanted to go with them trapping for a week, and I don't have the means to do that. I've actually been invited to go up to West Virginia like 10 times, and I just I can't afford to go that far. That's a long ways for me, especially to be up there for a week. I got told that I could go up there and trap and hunt bear. That would be awesome, but at this point in time, I can't do that. Maybe in a couple years, that's what I told him. You okay? Boo.
Ow.
So is anybody else getting any crazy snow or sleet or winter weathery stuff tonight? Yeah, it's crazy because I've used the deer head in a couple of sets, and I think I've done 3 different sets with one, and I've only one of the sets I never caught anything. Another set I caught one, but that one over at my mom's I caught 4 coyotes in that set with the deer head.
Okay, you need to eat it.
I did have one deer head where something took the head away. It was like 60 yards from the set, so I don't know if a coyote picked it up and was playing with it or what, but something took it. Uh, I try not to do a whole lot of real visual stuff like that because a lot of times it will bring in the hawks, the buzzards, the crows, and stuff like that. So I've already had problems with buzzards this year. Makes a pile of money, yeah.
No.
He does that with F&T and Minnesota. I know F&T carries everything that he has in Minnesota. They probably carry like 75%. They don't carry any of his baits, but yeah, it's kind of crazy because um, I know a couple people that take, a couple people like Minnesota that sells their baits and lures. They'll take them, 200-300 pints a month of baits, if not more. So if a yeah, I used like the shoulder blade set. I thought was gonna be a killer set, and I did that in 3 different sets, and I never caught anything on any of those sets. So I don't know if it was just too much. I really thought they'd be great for like a Bobcat set, but I don't know. I didn't have any luck with it, so I don't know if I'll be doing that again next year. Okay, chop chop, go package your stuff. Well, my phone says that I received an order, so I'll have my wife go do it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's too cold for me.
Is that ramen good? It's all over the house.
Yeah.
You're messy.
Take off your boots, baby.
Oh yeah? So,
Don't touch my phone. Don't. Get your ramen.
yeah, I hope the post office is open tomorrow. So I was not real happy when I pulled up to the bank and they were closed. And see what's funny, when they were closed, it wasn't, it was like 28 outside. It wasn't raining, it wasn't wet, it wasn't snowing, it wasn't doing nothing. It was dry, clear sky. They closed due to weather. I was like, okay. Must be nice to just close whenever you want and go home. Those logistics. Yeah,
Leave him alone.
I'm good with that, man. I couldn't stand trying to, I wouldn't say direct people, but keep track of people and tell them where to go. I couldn't. If that's the kind of logistics you're talking about, I wouldn't want to be the one that has to keep track of people or tell them where to go. Where they have to be at what time. I'm good on that. I had a job offer once. Can't remember what they called it, but basically my job would be to call, or basically like a truck driver would call me and say, "Hey, right now I'm taking a load to, St. Louis, but I don't have anything to pick up while I'm there. Find me something." So you would find them a load to pick up in St. Louis to take wherever, and you would get 5% of whatever that was. It's like, man, I don't know if I want to do that. Be on the phone all the time trying to tell people what to do, where to go. Because then you're the middleman, which means you're the one that's responsible for whatever. If you set up the driver to pick up the load, you're now responsible for that driver to be there. I don't want to mess with that, man. Sometimes it's hard for me to put my trust in other people, especially ones I don't know. Our weather here has been messed up for years. The summers get hotter and drier, and the winters get colder and wetter. It's like we had a lot of rain. Like usually in the spring, we get tons and tons and tons of rain. We'll usually get 3 or 4 floods in the springtime, but the last couple of years, we've been getting them in the wintertime and stuff.
No, I'm not giving you no more. No.
So it's just crazy. What does she want? You want lemon?
I gave her lemon. She was spitting out to the dogs.
Limited gear and personal limited. Yeah.
Hey.
So that's just, I don't know, I don't have a problem keeping track of things. I just have a hard time. I don't know. It's like if you were. So right there, you said movement of gear and personnel. So you would move 300 to 1,000 people at one time. So you're entrusting a few people to do as you say to get them people there or the equipment there. It's just hard for me to put myself on the line hoping somebody else follows through with their part. Once you get, burned so many times, it's hard to do that with people. I had a great season, Joshua, especially on coyotes. My goal for the year was 10, and I thought that was too many, and I ended up with 17. So,
No.
and I'm hoping to be able to run about twice as many traps next year. So,
No.
I don't know if that means I should double my numbers or if I should just shoot for 20 coyotes next year. I don't know. So, I do know I'd like to catch at least 3 or 4 bobcats next year. I only caught one this year. Thank you, Joshua. Every time it rains, there's snow behind it. Yeah, see, usually most years our snow here, we're likely to get a heavy snow for us would be an inch to an inch and a half. Most of my life, every few years, we would get a good 3 or 4 inch snow. When I was a kid, we got, 6, 7, 8 inches of snow every other year. But this year, we've already had one snow over 2 inches. We had one that was over 4. And they're talking, maybe 10, 12 inches on this one. All in one year. So it's definitely crazy. Hopefully the business keeps me busy. Oh, I'm always busy. Sometimes I'm so busy I forget I'm supposed to be busy with something else. I forget stuff all the time. It's like I said, I try to keep a notepad with me to write stuff down. So hopefully I wouldn't forget little things. And then I just would lose the notepad. So kind of defeated the purpose. I keep a notepad on my phone now. Your goal was 10. See, it's funny because um, all year I was slowly catching coyotes. I mean, I caught one a week, maybe two a week. There was like 2 or 3 weeks where I didn't catch any. And then I finally got to, I think I had 7. And I was like, man, I would really like to get to 10 before the year is over. And I had 2 weeks left at this point. Well, then it was just like, I think it was that Friday I caught like number 9. And then I was like, it'd be awesome to get number 10. Well, then I caught number 10 the same day. Well, then the next day I caught, I had a 3 coyote day. Then I caught another coyote the next day. Then the next day I got 2 coyotes. And, I doubled my season numbers in a week. So, yes, weather has a lot to do with it. That right there tells you it does. Yeah, say the military is totally different because, you have people in the military that have been there for a while that are, their main job is to make sure people are doing their job and they don't get second chances. When you're, talking here in the world, like the everyday Joe people, it's hard to trust people, especially nowadays, I was a chef for a long time and I managed a bunch of people, and it is definitely hard to trust what people are going to do or that they're going to do what they say they're going to do. Here in northern Wisconsin, used to get 80 plus inches of snow in a year. I haven't had much snow at all the past couple years. Like I said, usually we don't get hardly any snow. And total, we've probably already got close to 7 inches this year. And, they're talking another 10 to 12 tonight. So we'll see. 20 inches in January. Yeah, I got a lot towards the end. So my last week, I caught both my fox in the last week, and I think the last week I caught both fox and like 9 of the coyotes. Yeah, Mark's been doing really good. Soup. Scab, are you hungry for soup? Yeah, see, they're talking. Our weatherman, he said that most of Illinois tonight could be looking at getting over 2 feet of snow. He posted number 28 today. That's awesome. And see, usually we get most of our snow when it's about 30, and it's supposed to be quite a bit colder tonight, and we're supposed to get a whole bunch of snow. Hey, Jeremiah. Thank you. Appreciate that. I wish I caught more skunks. I only caught 3 this year. I was hoping to catch quite a few to get me some essence, but just got 3 of them. My first one had absolutely no essence in them. And the last 2, I think I got about 2/3 of an ounce or so altogether from both of them. Coyote Whacker, how you doing? So seems like time goes by too fast. I feel like I didn't get very much stuff done today, but the day's already over. Hmm. Yeah, see, you tried to trap a fox. Man, all my fox I've caught on my coyote sets. The problem with a fox, I feel, fox are a whole lot better at digging your bait up without getting in the trap, and they're a whole lot better at finding your trap and messing with it. So, uh, the first fox I caught, I knew there was a fox in the area because within a 30-foot circle, I say 30, probably a 30-yard circle, I had 3 traps, and then about 40 yards behind those, I had another trap set. Well, all 4 of those, about every other day, my bait would be pulled out of all the holes, and none of the traps would be messed with. Every now and then, I'd have one trap that would be messed with. So I knew in the back of my mind, I was like, I know there's a fox here. I know this is a fox still in my bait. I don't want to, I don't. If I say that, it'll end up being something different. But when I pulled up and seen that fox there, I was like, man, I knew it. So basically, I don't know. It's hard. Say all the fox I think I've caught. I caught 2 fox this year. I think I've only caught maybe 4 or 5 fox my whole life, and they've all been in canine sets. Fox are not as cautious as coyotes, I don't think, because a lot of the sets that I've caught fox in, I've had a log as backing or whatever. The first year I trapped, we had a coyote set that we had built we used small, like little 2-foot sticks to make like a cubby against the tree for a bobcat set, and we ended up catching 2 fox in that set. Why? Not sure. Could have just been the location. But I mean, as far as like specifics on fox, I don't know. I'm not a big fox trapper. Uh, I know if you know Linda White with Sawmill Creek Lures and Trapper Girl, she is a big fox trapper. And I know they have a few videos on YouTube if you look up Sawmill Creek. Told Mark he's not going until number 30. He caught 2 skunk, one had an ounce, the other not much at all. Gonna get one tan. I didn't get any of my my skunks tan this year. I'm probably going to next year. I've had your trap dug up 2 times. Yeah, fox are real good at digging your trap up and flipping it completely over. And I don't know. So as far as I've noticed with what I've caught, there's no guarantee way to set a trap just for fox. I think a lot of it has to do with what your population are. Because I know, like Linda White, she catches mostly fox. Her highest number of years fox. Well, where they live, there's a huge red fox population. So they catch a lot. We don't have a huge fox population here. We have a few. In some places we have more. Where I live here, we don't see hardly any fox. Where I was trapping is 15-minute drive. He sees lots of fox there. So it all depends. And a lot of times, if you get into like closer to in town and stuff like that, you'll see more fox. So like Bella Vista it's like a village. It used to be like a village for retirement people. That's usually where people would come when they're retired. They'd move from Florida to here or whatever for whatever reason. There's a whole bunch of lakes and golf courses here, but there's lots and lots and lots of houses, and I hear people there all the time having problems with foxes in the yard. My niece, which she's 10 years older than me, but they just bought a new house and they have 3 fox in their backyard, and they have a dock on the lake, and they have beaver under the dock. And I don't see many fox here, and definitely don't have any beaver right at my house. You had a fox poop on the trap jaw today, yeah. Fox are definitely little tricky ones. Yeah. Yeah, I know a lot of the pull-ups and stuff are raccoons, but um, usually as far as I've seen raccoons, when they do it, raccoons are a whole lot more, say, playful with stuff that they see or feel or can find than like a fox or a coyote or something like that. If they see something, they're going to want to know what it is, and then they're done with it. A coon, on the other hand, is going to be curious and want to play with it because they're just kind of weird. What traps do I recommend? There's really not a single trap that I would recommend. There's really not even a brand that I would recommend. A lot of it has to do with what animal you're wanting to trap mostly, what your state regulations are. Now I can say most of my traps that I have are Bridger #2 dogless modified traps, and I do really like those. And Duke 650 Pro Series traps, and I really like those. So there's also like the Duke #2 dogless trap is a really good trap. You know, there's lots of good traps, but it all depends. A lot of it has to do with what your state regulations are and what animal you're wanting to trap. Like, so if you're wanting to specifically target fox, say, I would not say go with the 650 because you definitely don't need to trap that big for a fox. So it has a lot to do with your state, what your main target is. Say like if you do like if you're wanting to do like coons, dog proofs 1.5s are great. Or if you can use them, 220 body grip is a great trap to do bucket sets and set on trails and stuff with. If you're wanting to do fox, you can use like a 1 3/4 Duke, Bridger, Victor, whatever you want. 1 3/4 trap is great. Or you can get like a MB 450. They're really great fox traps. So it all has to do with, there's a lot of things to take play. I'm not going to be saying you need to buy the one trap and you're going to love it because, I could pick 3 of my favorite traps that I love using, and you could get those 3, and you might hate all 3 of them. It's a big personal preference. A Duke 2.5. I'm not sure if I've ever heard of a 2.5. I know they have #2. They have 1.5, 1 3/4, #2, #3, #4, #5 long spring, #1 long spring. I know I've seen something a while back about a 2.5. There was an old, I can't remember what kind of trap it was, but there was an old trap that I guess used to be a fairly popular trap that was 2.5 that they didn't really make very long. Somebody was talking about a couple weeks ago on Facebook. I seen, but I do know like the no BS traps. I'm gonna get some this year to try next year. Might only get 6 of them or so, but definitely want to get some to try next year. Wouldn't mind getting at least a couple of the extremes and a couple of the extreme juniors. The alpha trap is really a really good trap. It's a little pricier, but then again, you're getting a trap that is completely set, ready to go out of the box. It's got cast jaws. It's a dogless trap, which I love dogless traps. So You're definitely, at that point, you're definitely getting what you pay for, but they're still a little pricey. $280 a dozen for a coyote trap is pretty pricey. You know, the Duke 650 is 200 bucks. The Duke 550 is 165. So, and then you can get like the Duke number 2 dogless. You can get a dozen for 128 bucks. So you know you're going from $128 a dozen to $280 a dozen. And really the biggest difference is personal preference. He regularly caught 30 bobcats, 20 coyotes. His most memorable season was when he caught 3 grays, 5 reds. Yeah. Should go coon hunting with dogs. Uh, I've done that once. That was at least 11, 12 years ago. And I was not a huge fan of it. Uh, I feel like when we went, we spent more time chasing the dogs and trying to figure out where the dogs were than we did actually going after coon. It was more or less let the dogs go and then try to go find them. And I wasn't a huge fan of that, you know. I do know they probably weren't the best people to go with, but it just seemed like a lot of work to me. I think we was out for like 6 hours, and over half that time we was literally just trying to figure out where the dogs were. And you know, even if you have a tracker, I know they help a lot, but you still got to be able to keep up with the dog. You know, you can train dogs to stick with you more and stuff, but I don't know, I know I would like to go thermal hunting some raccoon. I think that would be fun. Yeah, and instead of the GPS, you know, Kenzie, what are you doing? Say, Mom. She's trying to push that heater down the hallway. We borrowed a heater, a really nice heater that's on wheels, and my daughter's trying to use it as a demolition derby vehicle. But yeah, I've seen Coon Creeks a couple weeks ago. He posted that video where he's out shooting raccoons with a thermal scope and 17-inch more. Now I think that would be a lot of fun. But then again, you know, a good thermal scope, you're talking at least $600-700 for a decent thermal scope. Even a night vision scope, you know, you're talking $400-500 for a decent one. You know, you're talking about a good one, then you're talking 2,000-3,000. I know. I used to be in the hunting industry, and there's a guy that owned a company that I was a part of, and he had a thermal scope that he paid $4,000 and a truck for it, and they sold new for $14,000. He traded his truck and $4,000 for a scope. He lost a dog one night raccoon hunting. Guy left his jacket there. Dog was laying on the jacket for someone. Yeah, it's crazy. Folks run dogs for deer here, thousands of dollars in trackers and radios. Yeah, there's a lot of places you can't run dogs for deer, and Missouri, you're not allowed to do that. And I know a lot of people that, you know, they'll go coon hunting and their dogs will get on another piece of property barking. Well, then that landowner that owns that land will come out and start throwing a fit. I had an uncle that got shot at a couple years ago. They were out coon hunting, and the people heard the dog and went after the dog, trying to figure out what's going on, and seen people walking through the woods, and they just started shooting. Well, it was my uncle hunting our family farm, and we knew the people, and they just started shooting because they're stupid. So, some people just are dumb and shouldn't have weapons. And that was definitely some people that shouldn't have them. Needless to say, you shouldn't shoot at anything if you don't know what it is.
What?
Especially if you don't know what it is.
It hit your head?
If you don't know, even if you don't know what's behind whatever it is, you shouldn't shoot.
What?
That's like gun safety 101.
What?
You learn not to shoot at things you don't know before you learn to keep your finger off the trigger. You only shoot crackheads on your land. Yeah, well, I've never had to have a problem with anybody on my land before, luckily. And I do know some people were asking about the Trapper J Predator kit package, if we were going to put one together and sell one and do one. I actually talked with him most of today, and I think we've pretty well got one figured out. But I think the next couple weeks we're definitely gonna have those offered. So the next 2 or 3 weeks, you can look forward to seeing the Trapper J Predator kit on our Facebook website, whatever. Could possibly be sooner, but I'm saying, 3 weeks just to be safe. I don't want to say a week and then people get mad when they're not ready. So I'm going to say about 3 weeks. Finally made it where you can track deer with dogs or anything. You mean like blood tracking? Like tracking a deer that you've shot with a dog? Hey Deer Slayer, how you doing tonight? How do you get more trapping land? You gotta ask, man. The best thing is, I wouldn't recommend just going and asking every farmhouse that you see if you can trap their land. Coon Creek had a good video. It's probably been a couple years ago. I've watched the video a couple times, but it was talking about how to get permission on trapping land. He said, the best thing to do is you can get on your phone. There's different apps you can use. You can use Google, whatever. But you can look at land on your phone and try to find land that looks like it would be good land to trap, whether it's by water, whether it's open field, whatever it is you're looking for. And then maybe just, go drive by it and kind of look at it and say, yeah, that is a piece of land that I would like to trap. I think it'd be really good trapping. Then try to go knock on the door and ask them. So I definitely wouldn't recommend just knocking on every door asking if you can trap their land, because that wouldn't go over very well. It wouldn't take long for people to be talking about the guy that's knocking on everybody's door wanting to trap. And a lot of times, sometimes if you trap somebody's farm and you trap it for, a month and you do really well, that farmer might tell another farmer, hey, I had somebody trap my land and, they caught a whole bunch of coyotes or raccoon or whatever, and, they might recommend you to that other farmer. So, the land you're trapping, the owner of that land could possibly get you another piece of property to trap without you even knowing. You never know. Luckily, the property that I had a lot of success on at the end of the season was one of my good friends. He's like the manager of the property, pretty much. he let me come trap, and I'm hoping he lets me next year.
She's playing with her trap.
You don't have a problem running dogs for deer on private land, but my problem with running dogs on deer is I've seen a lot of people do like shotgun hunting with deer on running dogs. And at that point in time, it's hard to really see what you're shooting. And a lot of times, like there's a guy on YouTube, he videos it of them running dogs and shooting deer with shotguns. And a lot of those deer, he shoots 2 or 3 times. You know, you shoot a deer 3 times with the 12 gauge slug, there's really not going to be much left of it to eat. You know, even if you are doing, management hunts on places that have too many deer, there's different ways to go about it that, you could actually save the meat to eat instead of just go, blow 3 or 4 holes into a little yearling deer. That's just stupid to me. So I don't really agree with running dogs to deer hunt, but, to each their own, whatever. If you have your own land and that's what you feel like you want to do, go for it. It's your land, you do whatever you want, but yeah, some of those videos I watched was just ridiculous. A guy shot a deer and didn't even give it time to possibly run off and die. He just boom, boom, boom. It's like, what's the point of that? Have a gallon of ground bobcat meat tainting right now. What do you recommend to add to that for predator bait? Like I tell everybody, a lot of people think there's a big secret to predator baits. Really not, man. I mean, the bobcat meat, you could honestly take that and you could just add some sodium benzoate to it to stop the tainting whenever you got it where you want it, and use it just like that. You don't necessarily have to add anything. You could add skunk essence. You can add liquid smoke. You can add glands to it. I mean, you can do whatever you want. Make your own little recipe that you like. There's many, many, many things you can do, and most work. Animals aren't picky. Especially when it comes to like bobcat meat, beaver meat, they're really good basis for any predator bait. You can just run the meats themselves and do well. And a lot of times with your bait, a lot of people want to put, glands, skunk essence, oils, all kinds of stuff in the bait, and then they want to throw 2 or 3 lures on top of it. Well, it's like, what was the point of that? Why do you want skunk essence and gland in your bait if you're going to put a long call lure on top of it and then a gland lure on top of that? Like, what was the point in having all that in your bait when you just added that on top again? Like, I don't know. To me, I'm not a huge tainted bait fan. I like mellow baits. I don't like that strong smelling baits. Sometimes in the cold weather, a tainted bait can be really good, but I think that lures where you're really getting that from. I think a good medium tainted bait or non-tainted bait is your best bet, and then run with a long call lure or a gland lure, skunk lure, curiosity lure, food lure, sweet lure, whatever you want. That lure is your additive to your set. I've seen lots of videos on YouTube where people will dig their dirt hole and they'll put 3 times as much bait in that dirt hole than you need. And then they'll want to put a gland lure to the left of it. They'll want to put urine behind it. They'll want to put long call lure up high. They'll want to put a curiosity lure beside that. And then they'll want to put some castor somewhere. And it's like, that is a whole lot of unnecessary stuff in one set. What? Pop. Pop. Oh, you want that, don't you? Okay, you can have that.
I'm gonna give her a paper.
Just write on whatever. Write on your mom's pillow.
I should have drew
Can
over my
can take dog out to look for a wounded deer. That's it.
Here.
See, I didn't know there was ever laws where you couldn't do that. To me, that's just good sportsmanship. If you wound a deer, if you can take a dog to help you find that deer, to me, that's just good sportsmanship and something you should do. I don't get why that would be against the law, period. The ironic part is that if we track a wounded deer, the dog needs to be leashed. I think, as far as being leashed, I don't necessarily, I won't say I agree or disagree with that, but I think the point behind it is so the dog doesn't get away from you and attack the deer when it does find it. You had a guy start running rabbit dogs last day of archery, last half hour 2 years ago. Yeah, that wouldn't make me very happy. PA was out on public land.
Is it bedtime?
No, she's mad because the only paper she has is already wrote on. Most guys down here only take the back straps and antlers and dump the rest. You know, I had a guy that used to live down here. He's from Kansas City. He said there was a lot of like rich businessmen and stuff up there that went elk hunting and stuff, and they would go shoot whitetail for practice. He said they would just go out and shoot 2 or 3 deer and then throw them in the ditch and go home. He said they'd just use them as practice, and I'm like, that right there is stuff that you should be arrested for because that's ridiculous. Only time I ever used a slug gun when I was a kid and could not afford a rifle, missed a couple of it. Yeah, first time I ever hunted in my life, I used a single shot 410 with a slug. And yeah, first deer I ever shot at was a basket rack 5-point, and he went very far, 50, 60 yards at most. Yeah, I didn't hit him, but it was fine. I was like, 9 years old at the time.
What's a 1/4 mark on here?
1/4 be like the bottom of that. Wait, no, that would be half.
No, half is right there.
Yeah, half would be right there.
No, this
Cause
is
that's
half.
2/3 cup. That's what I said. That's 2/3 cup. 16 ounces is 2 cups.
I know.
So that's half a cup at the bottom of that, which is the 4.
Look, this line's half. There's the cup right there.
That's not half, that's half. That's your 2/3 right here. So you're about right here. You're wanting half a cup?
No, 1/4, 1/4.
A quarter cup? That's like nothing. You're wanting that small. You need to get like a measuring scoop. You don't need a 16-ounce cup for that.
Oh, I'm buying a measuring cup.
We have like 4 sets. Go ask your daughter where they're at. There was a set in her bedroom that she's doing the floor. Alright, guys. Sorry, I'm like way behind on these comments. You're good, Brian. Yeah, unfortunately, there's a lot of people that waste deer. I know a lot of people that just take the back straps and the hams and throw the rest away. On the other hand, the swamp woods in eastern North Carolina get so thick you can't even walk through it. Yeah, and plus, I don't know. I think there's, like, I don't know. I think there's ways to go about it because, like, the videos I watched where they were deer hunting with dogs and shotguns, I mean, there was like 6 of them out there with 8 dogs or something, and they were running deer, and the people would just stand around, and I mean, a little yearling would go by, and they'd shoot the deer 2 or 3 times with a slug. It's like, to me, that's ridiculous.
You got your noodles.
What is my top 3 coyote bobcat traps? So out of the ones I've used, I definitely would say for coyote bobcat, the Duke 650 is very impressive. I do like it, especially for the price. Uh, However, I have realized that I don't know if you call them like the spring posts or whatever that's under the trap that holds your springs. So not the front ones. I have 3 of them now where the posts are bent. So that kind of worries me a little bit. But other than that, I think the Duke 650 has turned out to be a really good trap. Bridger number 2 Dogless Modified is another really good trap. And the Alpha trap was a really good trap. I mean, I caught, let's see, this year I caught, I think 3 possums, 2 or 3 raccoon, and 4 coyotes in it. And I never had any kind of, nothing's bent on it. The pan never got out of place. It's still set perfectly. So, I mean, that really impressed me. It is a really good trap. But the price kind of gets me away from that one. So, yeah, I would say the 650, number 2, Bridger Dogless Modified, and the Alpha Trap. But then again, I would say a Duke number 2 Dogless Trap Modified would, if I had like a lamination on the Duke Dogless, I would probably pick it over Bridger all the time. Mainly because the Bridgers I have right now, like I said in a couple of my videos, the springs that are on them seemed a little too strong, and it tweaked the levers to where they set really, really rough. They don't set very smooth. That's how I was raised to, but most folks don't realize how hot it gets during the beginning of our deer season. Yeah, there's definitely times where we shoot a deer and it's like you need to gut it and throw ice in it before you even get home. Yeah, $200 free. I definitely say if you're like that, you should have a cooler for your meat. That's why when you go elk hunting and stuff, a lot of times they'll just eat. Yes, a lot of it has to do with it's big and it's hard to get out, but they will quarter it up and put it on ice. There. You got your 12-point archery with 70 degrees and have it quartered and they'll put it there. Yeah. I've definitely hunted in some very hot weather here. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people go hunting just for the sportsmanship. They want that adrenaline high and they don't really care about the animal itself. Which is sad to say, but there's a bunch of them. Didn't realize how much air you was sucking in on camera. It happens, man. No matter what you're doing. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy for us. You know, there's. I remember a couple of rifle seasons here when I was a kid that it was super, super, super dry and in the 80s and just ridiculous. It's not even fun to hunt. I mean, when you're trying to sit in your tree stand and swatting red wasp, that's not fun. Thank you for the advice. I was at a loss on why you would add stink to a bait and then I'd ruin it the whole year. Yeah, Bruce. Like I say, you know, having a stink bait with your essence or whatever you want is fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I just don't see the need to add lure on top of the bait. So if you want to put all of it in your bait and use that, perfectly fine. But I don't think you need to use that and a lure. Or some people even do 2 baits and 4 or 5 lures. To me, that's just crazy. Got a coyote today. Coyote worker, that's awesome. See, if I had that many deer, honestly, I'd say I would probably start a fire, go hunting, drag the deer back to the fire, and cook it, and then eat it. That's probably what I would do. Then again, I do understand, here's what you can do. If you know people that are shooting a lot of deer and wasting it, go to just about any conservation department or even a lot of butcher shops around where you're at. You can tell them, hey, say you killed 3 deer and you don't want the meat. You can donate that deer. They will take care of it. They won't charge you. They'll take care of it and donate it to homeless shelters, kids shelters, whatever. So that's a huge option that anybody should do instead of just letting it waste. Hunt just down the road from my house. Also scrape the bones for burger. I don't know about scraping the bones. I want to drag a cooler, not knowing if we can get anything. Jeremiah, you had a piece of property that was loaded with coyotes, but I tried to trap there with the shot. If you have just a lot of coyotes, honestly, try running some blind sets, which basically means just set your traps on, like game trails. You can probably catch a lot of coyotes like that, and depending on what state you're in, you can probably use cable restraints. If you can't use snares, you can probably use cable restraints. They'll probably do really good setting them on animal trails, game trails. Yeah, it's hard to figure out what to do with the deer if it's 80 because, I mean, if you don't get to it within a half hour, it's kind of just done for. Because, as soon as that animal quits breathing, it starts to decay. Oh, Scab, you confronted him? I don't know. I don't guess I seen that video. Jeremiah, you've caught a lot of skunks. Yeah, Scab, a lot of the times they'll want you to deliver it to them. I do know there's even some that if you donate the deer, they still want you to pay for the processing fee, which to me that's kind of ridiculous. But there's a lot of different ways to do it. And another idea, guys, is say if you're wanting to trap, if you're wanting to find a place to trap, or even if you do have a place to trap from the landowner or whatever, tell the landowner, say, hey, I shoot, say you shoot 4, 5, 6 deer a year, and you only eat 1 or 2. Tell them, say, hey, I have lots of deer meat. I can, exchange deer meat for permission to trap, or, even if you already have permission, you can just offer it to them. Because a lot of times, just that little thought or thank you thing will go a long ways with a lot of people. Already did. Alright, Brian, we'll see you. Thanks for stopping by and chatting with us for a little bit. And he slaps him up. Yeah, any kind of animals can travel a lot, especially if you get towards the breeding season.
No, ma'am.
I mean, it's not uncommon for an animal to travel 10, 15 miles a day, easy.
No, baby. Here. Are you not watching your show?
And a lot of times, like if you have the traps and you have the means to, if you have a spot that you really think is promising, put 2 or 3 traps in that spot. Because you never know. I mean, you might have a fox, a coyote, or whatever work 2 sets and not get caught, and then go to that 3rd one and get caught. Or say if you're having a set that's getting dug up quite often, put a 2nd trap behind the trap you have there. I did that twice this year and ended up catching the animal finally. Kind of, sort of, I guess you're right. Yeah. I don't know, Scab. When it comes to somebody like tearing up a trap, I can't say what I would do because I've never had to deal with it. But I wouldn't be happy. Especially like what happened to you. Somebody deliberately did it. Like it wasn't even an accident or whatever. Like they deliberately did that. And it's hard to say what I would do because I've never been there. So. Over there, in the bowl.
Honey. What do you want? You want an orange?
An orange? An apple? What do I film on? Like, what do I use for filming? I only use my phone. That's all I use, my phone. That's what I take all my pictures with, all my videos with. I do all my live videos, I just use my phone.
Hey, don't waste it.
Yeah, Scab, most of the time, any kind of fighting is not really ever the answer. Because the way it is, especially in today's world, if you confronted the guy and did beat him up or whatever, they would find you in the wrong. And you'd be the one getting in trouble, wouldn't be them. Guys used to wrap pan and aluminum foil for coons. The artificial baits are illegal now. I think they just changed that last few years. Yeah, but I don't think aluminum foil would be considered an artificial bait. Because technically you could tell them you're using the aluminum foil as your pan cover. What's the longest you leave the trap in before moving it to a new spot? Honestly, as long as I got the traps, I'm leaving it there until I move into a new property. You know, where I had my alpha set this year. When I got to this new property, I set it, and it set for 2.5 weeks before I caught anything, and I caught a possum. Well, I reset it and didn't catch anything for like another 3 days or something. And then I finally caught my first coyote. Well, and then I ended up catching 4 coyotes in 5 days in that one trap. So, it's hard to say. If you have the traps and you have the means to, just leave it there. Don't move it because, especially coyotes, you know, a lot of times it takes them a while to be interested in it. or sometimes they'll run right by without even seeing it, especially right now with their breeding season or rut or whatever you want to call it being in. A lot of the times they'll run right by your set sometimes. So uh, I'm definitely not going to put a trap. I'm definitely not going to dig a dirt hole, anchor my trap, bed my trap, put my bait down, and then in 3 days get mad and pull my trap. Because that's too much work to just give up on after 2 or 3 days. As Alan Probst was saying in a live video he did yesterday, he says a minimum of 7 to 10 days leaving your trap out. So, I had the one trap set 2.5 weeks, nothing. Caught a possum and ended up catching 4 coyotes. Facebook draining your battery, had to log out of it. Yeah. I have to almost keep my phone on a charger all day long. I'm always, whether I'm uploading a YouTube video, Facebook pictures, Instagram, TikTok, messaging people, I'm always on my phone. My phone's always dead. That trap's been up 2.5 months before they connected. Sea scab, our trapping season is only 2.5 months long, so. Then again, I've put in traps across the track from one and it caught in 2 days. You have to leave, eating supper. Alright, Jeremiah, no problem, man. I appreciate you stopping by and chatting with us for a little bit. Wish you luck on your trapping line. But yeah, there's no correct answer on how long to leave a trap before you pull it and give up. Because you never know. Aperture number 3 misses way less than most traps. I really check aperture number 3 set off. Yeah, because aperture number 3 is bigger than a number 2. So, I mean, that's just, what you call it, physics, I guess. There's a lot of people like they come out with that expanded pan. And a lot of people swear by the expanded pan because you have a bigger kill area on your trap. I've never used an expanded pan, but I don't think I ever would use one because to me, an expanded pan is going to cause you to get more like toe catches and stuff like that because I don't know, it's hard to say because usually when I catch an animal, I want their paw to be in the middle of the trap all the way down. That's what I want. I don't want their paw to be on the very edge of the trap to where the lever is pressed up against their arm or their paw, if that makes sense. Because say if your trap is here and they step right here and they hit that expander pan, that's going to set your trap off, so it's going to close. Well, now instead of there being here and your lever's coming all the way up, your trap is going to pinch that animal's foot right here. So you're going to have one lever up all the way and one lever that's halfway up, if that makes any sense. I don't know, I've heard a lot of people say that with expanded pans, it usually you end up catching more, getting more toe catches and stuff. You like to call it trap trigonometry. Yeah. Your Duke number 3, number 4 missed more, it seems like. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think a lot of that because I don't want like a lot of times like on the You just get the plain Bridger doggone, non-laminated, nothing, just regular Bridger trap. Their pans are literally like this big. So here's your trap. Their pan is, I mean, just itty bitty. I don't want a pan that's half the size of my coyote's paw. The 650 to me is, I think the 650 is perfect. The trap is perfect size. The pan is perfect size. I don't exactly know what the size of the pan is, but I'd say it's probably 2.5 by 1.5. The pan, it's like a rectangle. That's exactly why you don't use screen pan covers. The only thing you don't like about most dogless big pans that are good for blind sits, though. Alright, dear Slayer. See ya. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping by and chatting with us. You like the number 3 Duke pan? See, the Duke 650, I don't know, I keep coming back to that trap. I love that trap. It's got great lockup. A lot of the animals that I've caught in it, I actually have to step on the levers to open it up because there's so much lockup and it's like froze up that I can't just push it down with my hands. I gotta use my feet to pop it up because there's so much lockup power on it, and I love it. So far, the only thing that kind of worries me is the um, spring rods on the bottom, or pegs, or what do you want to call them. And then again, I think a lot of it is just personal preference. It all depends on what the person likes. Some people like really small pans. Some people like the expanded pan where there's absolutely no room in the pan, and then some people like medium pans. Some people like big traps. Some people like really small traps. There's a lot of people that honestly like to use the 1.5 and 1 3/4 traps for coyotes all the time. There's a lot of old time trappers here that I know that the Duke 1 3/4, that's what they trapped with 30, 40 years ago, and that's still what they want. Yeah, that's the 650. All those catches, I mean, everything I've caught, like, say, here's the pad, my palm, has been up here. The Bobcat I had, its paw was flat on my pan, and its claws were wrapped around the bottom of my pan. I mean, it basically was gripping my pan like this, and the trap was way up here. The jaws of the trap was way up here. Same thing with that fox that I caught. I mean, it was up here. I also caught a raccoon in one, and it was up here. The coyotes were all, I had a couple just straight over the hand, good catches, but I had a bunch of them way up here, high leg catches. And, when you got them up here, there's like no chance that they're pulling out. Some people put too much thought into things and don't think it. Yes, a lot of people put way, 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 way too much thought into it. There's a lot of people that, and most of the time, there's nothing wrong with what they do. It's just more work than is necessary. I see it. If that's what they like to do, if that's what they feel safe to do, that's fine. Whatever. I mean, got a cat in them for a long spring bridger, like my long springs, but bitch releasing stuff. I got a porcupine 3 days in a row. Same set long swings had to release. Yeah, I can definitely see if I was trying to release something in a long spring, that would definitely suck. I don't even think I'd want to be in that, really. Sometimes it's hard enough in just a regular coil spring trap, let alone a long spring trap. Yeah, I see people do so many like modifications to the traps. They'll put the expanded pans, the laminated jaws, They'll put 4 or 5 swivels on the bottom of it before they even get to their anchor, where their chain is mostly swivels, not even chain anymore. Uh, it's just it's crazy sometimes. Yeah, not that there's anything wrong with it, but sometimes just unnecessary, like the J.C. Connor springs. I've seen people that have uh, 4 or 5 swivels, and then one of those J.C. Connor springs, and then uh, another, say 6 inches of chain, and then their anchor at the bottom of that. It's like you now have 3 foot of spring and swivel and all kinds of stuff on your chain before you even get to your anchor that's in the ground. It's like that's just a lot to do on every single trap, but that's what makes you happy. I guess go for it. The way I see it is bigger traps and pans are like a grinder for welders. Makes up for mistakes. Yeah. Yeah. The one of the biggest things, Bruce, is people wanting to rebait and relure. A lot of people think if they set a trap out and it hasn't caught anything in 2 or 3 days that I've done something wrong. I need to put a new bait or a new lure in, or something's wrong with the trap. But like I said, I've been there many times that thought that, oh, maybe I didn't bed my trap good enough, or maybe I put my bait hole too far from my trap, or maybe I put it too close to my trap. Maybe I didn't make my bait hole big enough or deep enough or whatever. Maybe I should have made a step down set here. You can always second guess yourself, but once you put a trap in, just leave it. If you if you need the only to me, if I had a trap that had been sitting for say 5, 6, 7 days, the only way I would go ahead and pull that trap is if I found a really nice spot to put a trap and I was out of traps. Then yes, I would pull that trap and I'd move it over there. Otherwise, I would just leave it and leave it and leave it. Caught yourself doing that and then step back. Yeah, it's easy to do. You can only have 8 inches of chain / swivel from the trap attachment. Wait, 8 inches of chain / swivel from the trap attachment point where it touches the ground. So are you saying that you can't use drags in North Carolina? Hey Mark, how you doing? Everybody's been talking about you. Everybody's been talking about you and your trapping the coyotes, how good you've been doing this year. I cannot believe that they would say you can't use drags. Actually, PA, you say that. There's a couple states where you can only use cage traps only. Colorado, you can only use cage traps. And then there's some states where you can't even use cage traps. New Jersey, you can't trap. California, you can't trap. And they're trying to make it more and more and more that way. New Mexico, you can no longer, was it starting next season? You can't trap public land anymore. Well, New Mexico is, the whole state is like 75% public land. That's why I said it. New Jersey can't even own a foothold. I wonder what they do if um, somebody bought one of those. You take a trap and you weld it open, and you can make like a hitch out of it for your truck. I wonder what they would say if you had one of those on your truck. New Jersey allows snares, no leg holds. See, I thought I read in New Jersey you couldn't trap at all, period. Hey, Otter Cat, use big pans on your cat traps. Like, do you use expanded pans on those? Or are you talking just a bigger pan? I know, wow, my brain just had a brain fart. Give me a second. I know he uses expanded pans like crazy. He catches a ton of bobcats. And I know his name, I just can't. Oh, Clint Locklear. I don't know why that name was just. I don't know, I couldn't get it in the front of my brain, huh? It was like, the name was right here, but I needed it right here, if that makes sense. But yeah, Clint Locklear, he uses expanded pans, and he uses big traps, but he catches lots of bobcats. I think, if I remember right, he goes to Texas, and he catches dozens and dozens and dozens of them in Texas every year. Yeah, see, I don't know what North Carolina is. I've never been up there. Um, so North Carolina, you're kind of getting up to the somewhat mountains up there, aren't you? Or is it pretty flat?
It's smelling good? What you have?
I don't really know what I'm talking about, but I think, if I'm thinking right, North Carolina's kind of got mountains, and South Carolina's more flat, right? You're from there, trappers use DPs and snares. That's cool, man. I didn't even, in my mind, for some reason, I thought I'd read in New Jersey could trap at all. But, I mean, DPs and snares, that's 2 more traps than you can use in Colorado. You wish you could use snares or cable restraints. I've never used cable restraints, but I told my wife that next year I'm going to get me, I'm going to try to run about 2 dozen of them next year. See how I like them. You know, I might put out 6 or 7 and hate them. I don't know. Don't know unless you try. Outlet coverage for pans. That's crazy. See, it's funny, Arcade. I know a lot of people. Well, I don't know a lot of people. I've heard a lot of people talk about using like roofing shingles to put over their pans. You just take a roofing shingle and cut it out the size of your trap. North Carolina, South Carolina, similar in that we go from coastal swamps in the east to Blue Ridge Mountains in the west. That's crazy. So, have you always lived in North Carolina? I've never been. I've never really been anywhere east. I've always went west. I've been all the way to New Mexico, but the farthest east I've ever been is Illinois. If I end up at this point in time, I can say I doubt it's gonna happen. But if I end up getting the money, we will actually be going to the NTA, which is in Ohio. But at this point, I don't think we're going to because just ain't got the money to go. $36 course. See, here in Missouri, we don't have to take a course or nothing. So you went from Hawaii to Michigan to North Carolina. That's like completely different. That's almost like going from Arizona to Alaska. Yes, I am in southwest Missouri, Joshua. I am in the farthest southwest corner there is. I'm 2.5 miles from Arkansas. No snares, cable restraints in North Carolina either. That's crazy. What is your trap size restrictions? So here in Missouri, we don't even have a trap size restriction. I can run a TS85 for a coyote trap if I wanted. I ain't saying I'm going to, just saying I could. It'd suck to have to dig that big of a dirt hole. Definitely take a lot of peat moss to fill in. Just watched your last video, that was intense. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get on there and watch it later. 7.5 inside limit. See, at least you have a lot of wiggle room on your footholds. Some states, they can't use anything bigger than like a 5 7/8 trap. Aloha, Scab. I knew you had to be born on an island. So, Scab, does that mean you're an island boy? What? I ain't a dick.
Watch TV before it's bedtime.
6.5 inch here.
Okay.
He was excited about. Are you talking about the video where you confronted the guy? 6.5 outside kind of sucks for beaver down.
You need to stop.
Oh, so you can't use more than 6.5 for a beaver either.
That's disgusting.
6.5 outside, yeah. So that means you can't use a Duke 650 because there's 6.5 on the inside. He said yes, grass hut and all.
What?
I asked him if he was an island boy. So here's my question, Scab. Are you more like the Island Boys, or are you more like Gilligan's Island? Gotta start watching Scab's videos, must not have notification on. Hold on. Doug Hetty just posted a new video on YouTube if you want to watch it. About what weather we could get next week. Doug Hetty is our meteorologist.
I'm gonna find them.
But, PA, if you go to Scab's YouTube, I'm sure you're already subscribed, but make sure you're subscribed. And then there'll be a little bell you can click on. And it will ask you what you want to be notified and turn it to all videos. PA, only 550s.
Okay, stop.
So, can you use Bridger number 3s? Because they're 6-inch inside. If I remember right. The Bridger number 3 is 6-inch on the
The
inside.
last one was 9 hours ago. Or 4 hours ago.
Oh, my phone just said he posted one about next week's forecast. If you aren't getting notifications, unsubscribe for about 2 or 3 minutes and resubscribe. I've been hearing a lot of people saying that YouTube has been like forcefully unsubscribing them from channels.
I'm not saying that.
That's what I thought. The 6 number 4 Long Spring Bridgers for
What?
beaver.
What do you want?
They're 6.5 outside, but I'll bet they will hold a wolf.
Yeah, who he is.
Yeah, when you come to Long Springs, you're talking about some killer lockup power.
That's not JJ. It's Blumpy.
When you get to Long Springs, you can definitely use a smaller trap for bigger animals.
I was turning it off.
For some reason, you can't go to sleep when I do live. Sorry about that, man. If you need the... So you're saying... I figured my live would put you to sleep, honestly. Yeah, I know, I am sub, most not. Turn notifications on. Yeah, you gotta manually turn the notifications on to any channel that you want to get all their videos. Yeah, you got lots of Bridget number 3 and Duke number 4 there sitting up outside. Yeah. Yeah, it's strange. Some places just have crazy trap size laws. I don't know if any of you guys watch Ohio Trapper. He's got a YouTube channel. And on his, in Ohio, I guess a number 2 Bridger is bigger than they can legally use. So he has to modify a number 2 to be able to use it. Now, to me, that is absolutely stupid. A number 2 is too big. Like, come on, man. If I done swim, we do it, and then that's crazy. Say, about every day, I'll get on my YouTube, and if you click on the subscriptions, it'll list all the videos that have been posted by all your subscriptions that you're subscribed to in order. Like, it'll go from the last one all the way down, and you can just go down it. So about once a day, I'll try to at least get on there and look at them. Yeah, it's kind of dumb. I mean, if to me, if a number 2 trap is going to be too big, it's almost as bad as just not being able to trap. I mean, I would hate to be stuck with a 1 3/4 trap to trap all my coyotes, all my bobcats, everything. Alright, Scab, no problem, man. Hope everything's good. Hope you have a good night too, man. Appreciate it, Brian. Are you cooking those brownies? What it smells like?
Yummy.
So, Mark, I've been asked like twice on this live video what my preferred trap is or my top 3 traps. What are your top 3 traps for coyote? What trap do you use the most? Which one do you like the most? I know it's pretty much all personal preference, but how much glycerin do I need to put in a half gallon of bobcat meat? That really just depends on what you're looking for. Are you wanting it to be like super thick, or are you wanting it to be more of like a runny paste kind of bait? What I do is I slowly add it until I like it. Like a lot of people, though, they have their certain recipes that they go by and they'll change it. A lot of times, depending on the weather outside, to get your ingredients to mix well of whatever you're putting in your bait, sometimes you have to add a little more of whatever. Depends, like, so if I go outside and it's been 90 out all day, I'm not, like your glycerin and stuff, you're not going to have to add near as much to get your ingredients to mix up the way you want them. If I go outside and it's 50, I'm going to have to add more glycerin to get my ingredients to mix the way I want them. So I will slowly add like glycerin or stuff like that until it is the way I want it. I'm not just going to pour a whole bunch in there and it end up being way too runny or whatever. So I would just slowly add it. If you're talking half gallon bait, I would say add a half a cup to start with and see what you like and go from there until it's the way you want it. Duke 550 or Duke number 2 square jaw. Alright, Mark, is that on the Duke, is that the dogless or the doggone Duke? And I need to get me a couple Duke 550 and try 'em. I love the Duke 650. Probably the one he got 7 yolks on would be my guess. Yeah, I'd say that Alpha Trap, I was really wanting to get it tested to see how it went from my point of view because I've heard a lot of people talk about them. Dunlap, he's used them a lot, so has Jeff Haggerty, and they both love them and talk really highly of them. But I kind of wanted to see what it would do for myself. Well, I started thinking I wasn't going to catch really anything in it. I caught possum and raccoons in it, but that's only going to do so much for you. But then the last week of season, I ended up catching 4 coyotes in it, and I mean, it's just like I set it out. Nothing's bent, nothing's tweaked. The pan still sits exactly like it was. The tension's exactly like it was. So it's very, I'm happy with it, surprised by it, and satisfied. That price is way up there. You pulled your traps yesterday. Mark, does that mean your season's over? How do you grind up your meat? Um, you can use just like a meat grinder, like a small meat grinder. You can use like one of those little tabletop ones, a hand grinder. Or you can use I know a couple people, Trapper Jay, he uses a wood chipper to grind his meat. He chunked it up, tainted it, and added sodium benzoate. Just don't want it to freeze. Uh, yeah, and see, AutoCAD, I've never messed with chunked bait. Uh, you're when you come to chunk bait, you're definitely not going to need near as much as you would like ground meat. So if you're talking half gallon of chunked meat, yeah, I mean, I think I'd still start with about half a cup and see where you're going from there. Um, but I would definitely use glycerin. I wouldn't use glycol. I've heard from lots of bait makers and stuff that glycol can dilute your taint or smell. You had yours perfect until you tried to rebait. On my number 4 catch, it was negative and stuff was full solid. Had to get the soul taker out. Yeah. You don't have any Duke Douglas yet. I like the 652s. Take my watch to the back. Yeah, I use peat moss, and I have lots of peat moss, and it's cheap, so I don't mind. Bother me. A lot of times I use the peat moss. I'll make my set, and I'll throw peat moss like I'll use peat moss in front of my trap to make it look like the whatever was digging, and I use the peat moss to do that so that dirt actually matches the dirt that's on my trap. But then I don't care. I mean, peat moss is very inexpensive. It doesn't get super cold here. Like, it hardly ever gets to be 0 or colder. Single digits here is not real common, so yeah, we don't have that -13 and stuff like that. We don't get that cold here. If it did get that cold, I'd probably definitely be doing some wax dirt and some wax sand. I got a couple of the Duke Douglas traps, and I've liked them for what I've done with them so far.
What are you doing, baby?
15 buckets of wax dirt this season.
You ready for bed?
That's a lot. I personally used, let's say, close to 2 bales of peat moss. Were they like 35, 40-pound bales? I think I used about 1.5 to 2 myself. Yeah. Using black wax will make your wax sand darker. Uh, there's a chance, but I don't know. I've heard from a lot of people like black wax, once it melts, it turns like a purple color. So I'm not sure. As as thin as it would be, I don't think you'd hardly notice it because I mean it's not like you're putting a ton of wax, and especially when you're talking about wax sand, because wax sand only takes about half as much wax as dirt does. Buy a snowblower next year. Yeah, see, I've never. We had about 4 inches of snow, and that's the most snow I've ever trapped in my life. So I've never really had to dig out a set. Got your second block of peat moss and went through at least 5 buckets of wax dirt. Yeah. See, if I was going to use wax dirt and peat moss, I would definitely use my peat moss on bottom, my wax dirt on top, because your peat moss is going to your your wax dirt is designed that water is not going to touch it at all. Water just run off of it. Peat moss is kind of different. Peat moss, it doesn't really absorb it, but it can take a lot of water. But if you're talking about, lots and lots and lots of rain or a huge freeze thaw situation, peat moss is probably going to fail you, and wax dirt or wax sand is not going to. But then again, this time of year we don't get very much rain. We get some. I think this whole trapping season we got a good rain once, and the freeze thaw. Uh, I didn't really notice a big difference in my traps in the freeze thaw. Maybe a couple of them. And that was it. So, yeah, I think if I was going to do both, I would probably bed my trap on the peat moss and then cover it in the wax dirt or wax sand. Because your wax dirt and wax sand, most of it is sifted so fine that you're not really going to be able to bed your trap in it real well anyway.
You got your trap? Oh.
Use Use peat early season and ran out of wax dirt, so bought more peat moss. Peat moss is definitely the cheapest, Brian, by far. Uh, you okay? What you trying to do? Get in the chair? Yeah, peat moss is definitely cheaper than wax dirt. Even if you're making your own wax dirt. Um, I think in a bale of peat moss, you should be able to get a full bale for, I mean, even the expensive stuff, 25 bucks at the most for a full bale of peat moss. I know I've heard a lot of people say that they go to get peat moss and all they can do is they find like 5 pound bags for 8 bucks. To me, that's crazy. I mean, I sell peat moss on the website, but that peat moss has been I double sift it and I dry it, so it's been super dried and it's been sifted. So you're not gonna have like you're not gonna have all the wood in it, the bugs, roots, all that stuff's been sifted out of mine. It's been dried, super dry. Perlite to bed traps. I've never heard of anybody that has.
You want to try this again? You want your
You
apple?
shoveled more snow on the line than I did at home. That's always.
You want your apple? You won't go bed. Juice. Where? Oh, you want me to make you some hot chocolate?
Yeah, I thought about that.
Okay,
See,
go
that's
get
how
your
some
big
guys
juice.
would do it
Mama
to make
make you
wax
some
start
hot cocoa.
last. Yeah. So a bale of peat moss, basically, if you go to like your farm store, which I buy mine at Orchland's, which is kind of like Tractor Supply if you've never been to one. Atwoods, stuff like that, but it's basically a bale of peat moss, which is like 35-40 pounds. It's in a plastic bag and it's been compressed down to a bale. So it's about the size of a square bale of hay. Coal dust, yeah. There's a lot of people use different things. Trying to think. Kendall Obermeyer, no BS. He sells. What is it? He sells it in the 5-gallon buckets. Trying to think what it is. I don't know. My mind's kind of drawing a blank again. And loamy soil drains well, doesn't freeze, but it's very lightweight. If it's super lightweight, I might be afraid of the wind blowing it off my trap, because I do have problems with that sometimes with peat moss. The wind will blow it right off my trap because it is lighter. But I don't know, I'm trying to think of what it is that Kendall sells. I can't remember. It comes in 5-gallon bucket. I don't know. Cover holes. That's what it is. Thanks, PA. You got my brain working for me. I learned that last season. Lots of dug up traps. Yeah. All the traps you have right now come from Orchland. So you have all Duke traps. I really wish Orchland would start carrying some of the Pro Series Duke traps, because I was hoping our Orchlands would get some 550s because I wanted to buy a couple of them and try them, but and they don't. It seems like at the beginning of the year they order like a dozen of each trap, and then that's all they get. They don't order any more of them. Use peat at your cat sets, but coyote avoid it like the plague here. It doesn't match the ground where I'm at. I have to cover it with grass clippings. Coyotes. Yeah, that's why when I use peat moss, a lot of times I'll put it in the bottom. I'll dig my trap bed. I'll put it in the bottom, put my trap on top of it, cover my trap completely in the peat moss, and then I'll take the peat moss and I'll throw in front of the trap, so it looks like they were digging there and they've thrown fresh dirt up, and I'll have the peat moss just kind of strung out from my trap. So instead of just one spot that big, it's a big area of peat moss. Tough to beat wax dirt or wax sand. Yeah, I hear a lot of people talk about wax dirt and wax sand real good, but it doesn't get cold enough here for me to use it, so I've always just used peat moss, and peat moss did me really, really well this year, so if I ever go up north or something where it's a lot colder in trap, I probably will use some wax dirt or something, but alright, PA, appreciate you coming in. Yeah, I'm not too sure how much longer we'll be. I've been going for over 2 hours. Juice? Is that good, Juice? Four Duke DPs. Yeah, I got like 4 or 5 brands of DPs, and Duke is definitely one of my favorites. I do know that Orchland's is a little pricier on their traps. I think, what was it? I want to say our Orchland's wanted $14 for a DP. 14, is it right? Something like that, I don't know. But yeah, last time I looked, they had like 3 or 4 1.5s. and like 2 330s, and that's all they had. 2 body grip setters. They didn't have any. They were out of the number 3s. They were out of number 2s, out of dog proofs. I don't know. I was kind of hoping they'd get some 550s because I want to try a couple, but there's a couple traps I want to get this year that I want to try out, and if I don't like them, I'll probably just end up selling them or giving them away or something. I don't know. So I want to get some of the no BS traps. I want to get some of the 550s. I don't know what all I want to try. I had a bunch of flake wax. I used most of it for making wax dirt and wax sand, and then I sold it all, and then had somebody message me about wanting to buy a bunch of wax dirt or flake wax, so I sold them all my flake wax. Um, I'll have to check on that. I'm pretty sure I can get flake wax, but I'll have to check on that again. I can order from Shills for $11, but I'd order from 15. Yeah, the biggest thing, like even a lot of times you can go to your feed stores. In a lot of your feed stores, they sell Duke traps too, because a lot of the big places that they order from will carry Duke brand traps. They want a lot of money because as a retailer, there is not very much money in traps at all. So, and I know that's, supply owner's not supposed to talk about how much money he makes on stuff and whatnot. That's kind of a no-no, but yeah, there's, I tell people there's traps for trap suppliers are just like gas for gas stations. There's literally like no money in it, but you got to sell it and hopes people buy the other stuff. So a gas station, they're gonna sell gas, hoping that people come in and buy a candy bar, chips, and a drink. A trapper or trap supply company is gonna sell traps and hopes people buy a hammer, a bait, and a lure from them. You think the setters for the DPs make it harder? For the DPs, yeah. Um, See, I just set the DPs by hand, but you can also use a screwdriver. A lot of people use screwdrivers to set them. Yeah, the lever, you only got to pull the lever about halfway, and then that dog, if you pull the lever about halfway, you can squeeze that dog, and it'll close the handle a lot easier for you. Hey, Internet Veteran, how you doing? See you, Ottercat. Thanks for stopping by. Hey, Internet, I think this is the, is this the first live that I think I've seen you on a bun? Appreciate you stopping in. Kind of started this one just showing people the snow that we was getting outside, and we was coming home from church and started snowing, so I went live and was showing people that, and kind of been going since. Set them by hand too, yeah. Yeah, I set all my DPs by hand, but I know a lot of people can't, like kids or older people, so the setters definitely help, but I think a lot of times when I first started using them, I thought they were hard to set because I didn't fully understand it. So I think a screwdriver is easier to set them with than the setters are, honestly. And if you get the Freedom brand, the FB1, they're quick sets. So basically, you just squeeze it shut and it's set. There's no lever or dog on it. You just squeeze it and it's set. They are a little bit pricier. I think they're $150 for a dozen. But there's a whole lot more that goes into that trap, being the quick set. Hey, baby. Are you going to bed? Huh? You going to bed? Good night. Yeah? Do you see Dada's face? You want to see yourself? They don't stay up. You see yourself? She can see herself in the camera now. Is that you?
Baby.
Baby? That's you. Are you a baby?
Me.
Baby? You heard the Freedom Brand mouse fast?
Dada.
Daddy,
Good
give Daddy a
night.
kiss.
Good night. Oh, I love you. I love you. Good night.
Okay, give Daddy.
Hey, when we wake up, we play in the snow, okay? Play in the snow. Good night, honey. I
Give
love
Daddy
you.
hugs.
Oh, oh.
So.
Yeah, cold. Good night, honey.
Boo.
Boo. Sleep good. Sleep good. When you wake up, we'll go play in the snow, okay? Good night.
Give
Yeah,
Daddy a
you're so
kiss.
sweet.
Give Daddy a
You're
kiss.
so sweet.
Oh.
Good night, honey. Sleep good.
Baby.
Oh, you want to see yourself again? Is that you? You see yourself?
Okay, say bye.
Baby.
Baby.
Say bye.
Baby.
Say bye.
Baby.
Not baby. Bye.
Say bye.
Baby.
Yeah, baby. Baby's going to bed.
Yeah, I know.
Give me a kiss.
I have some of the FB2 Freedom Brand 2s, and at first I really liked them. And I don't know about rusting because I've only used them this season. But I don't like the bases of them because they're harder to stick in the ground. Anyway, the super chat. Honestly, live internet, I have no idea. Uh, I honestly don't know. I don't know if I have no idea if there's. I don't know if you have to. I don't know if that's something like you have to have 1,000 subscribers to be able to do or not. All right, Mark. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate it. Hope you have a good night. I can mute the microphone. That's crazy. There's all those weird filters that Trapper Jay's always putting them on. Yeah. These are, I don't know. This YouTube live stuff's still new to me. I think the YouTube live is a lot easier than Instagram and TikTok. Yep, tomorrow's Trapper Jay's birthday. I seen that. I told him, I said, I heard him a little while back, he said his birthday was in February. I said, oh really? I said, my birthday's in February too. I said, when's yours? Was it the 3rd? I think he said, yeah. My birthday's 22nd, so opposite side of the month, but Kyle Wacker, you got a hard-earned coyote today? Internet veteran, are you on Uncut? Wish you could send me a birthday skunk hat. I don't, as I said, I don't have a skunk to send you. You joined, your name is set on sign. Yeah, I joined, let's see, Trapper J. He told me that he was going to be on there the day after they, the day after Flair told him that, or I don't know, recruited him. Is that how you want to say it? To be on Uncut. He told me that he was on there, and I had never even went to their website before, and I just got on there and signed up for it. He made his first post, and I commented on there. I said, I signed up for Uncut just for Trapper J. You know, I do like watching Flair's videos, and I watch most of the ones that he posts on there, so it's pretty cool. It's, you know, the only downside I have to Uncut is I used to get excited when I got a Trapper J notification on my phone of a new YouTube video, and now I have already watched them on Uncut, so I get that, and it's like I get excited for a second, and I click on it, and then it's like, oh, I watched this one on Uncut. It's like I've already seen it. A lot of times I'll just rewatch it though to give them that extra view, and I'll like it every time. But yeah, it did take that YouTube excitement away from me being on Uncut, but I definitely I enjoy Uncut. It's definitely different getting to. It's not, it's the non-edited version of everything. Yeah, the Flair video at the mailbox was good. And he said that he feels sorry because he's selling his house if the person that buys it wants to replace the mailbox. I don't care, sure. No. Um,
Really good.
yeah, it's pretty funny. He said that if that don't work, he's going to buy a big mailbox, stick a little mailbox in the center of it, and then fill it with concrete. I thought that was pretty funny. That's I watched this video that he just posted where he's cleaning up his garage and his basement. That's what he said. He's like, I've been trying to do this for 2 years and I got it done just in time to list the house for sale. Thought that was pretty funny. Was it last week? The week before? They had that big snowstorm up there. He did the video where he took his Bobcat out and was scraping his driveway. And I started laughing at that. Just the way that he talks is hilarious. I mean, I see the Uncut video. Yeah, it's nice. It is $9.99 a month, $10 a month, but they do. I will say they do a lot of giveaways on there, and they have one big giveaway every month. So it's definitely, I'd say, worth the $10. Yeah, that one coyote that he caught, I think it was the one that was tangled up in the cedar tree. It was pretty mangy. Yeah, he's funny. Trapper J and Flair's funny. Watching them together is hilarious. I've yet to watch any of the other people on Uncut yet because I'm usually just so go. Yeah, I missed Trapper J's giveaway that he did on there because I didn't have time to watch a video for like 4 days, and I got on there and the first thing I seen was Trapper J's giveaway. I was like, huh? Like, what giveaway? And then I watched it and I was like, oh, okay, well, I missed that one. So it's definitely fun to be on and watch the different things that there's not on YouTube. Like it's the non-edited. It's got the dispatch shots. It's got the skinning of animals, stuff like that they're not going to put on YouTube. Scab, you're back until he remembers how to use his phone at least. So was he good? Was he just wanting to talk, or was he having problems? Sounds like he's just wanting to talk, I guess. Um, yeah, I like watching Flair. He's definitely different. He's definitely built a good setup and whatever you want to call with Uncut and Bucks and Ducks and Guggen and everything else. What? That's what's called. It's Bucks clothing, Ducks clothing, the Guggen squad, a little bit of both. Well, I hope he's good, man. Yeah, that was pretty good. That one day, what was it? He caught Trapper J. Caught the one Bobcat and was it 4 coyotes and snares? Something like that. I don't even know how long ago that was. I think that video was posted a while back. Huh? Hmm. So, Scab, I know I've asked you before, but when does your trapping season end there in North Carolina? Yeah, I get that. I have a couple of friends that were in the Army or the military. I mean, friends, they were older. I mean, one of them's passed away now. He's would have been like 62, but he was in Vietnam and he definitely had some rough nights. He used to go to deer camp with us all the time, and all the time he used to wake us up and said, "Hey, you're gonna be my talking buddy tonight." I was like, "All right." We'd just go by the fire and talk all night because he couldn't sleep. Yeah, I help Asher Bros as much as I can. I sent him a what was it? I sent him a big care box, I guess you could say, before season when I first decided that I'd be one of his like sponsors or help him out or whatever. I sent him a big care box of a bunch of baits and lures and some of my baits and lures, and uh, then he ordered some. I think he ordered some wax dirt from me, and he ordered some wax dirt and I think a hat from me. I sent him some more stuff. I've been Well, I've been mixing my words up tonight. I've been meaning to send him some more stuff. It's one of the reasons why you're on all the lives. Can't sleep at night. I get it. I mean, I don't say I get it because I've never been there, but I get it. As in, I've talked to them, and uh, one of my we called him. For the life of me, I can't remember his real name, but we called him Hog, and he was a gunner in Vietnam. He said one of the stories he reminds me. He said one time he told me, "What's up, Trapper J? Yeah, you're seen on Facebook that your birthday is tomorrow. I'm definitely gonna have to get the mailman to bring you something. But
This is 22.
that's what I told my mom. My birthday this year is 2/22/2022. I told her, I said if I was turning 22 years old, that'd be a whole lot of twos. 2/22/2022. Reconnecting. That's stupid. My phone just said I was reconnecting. Take a shot for Trapper J. Mm.
What? Shot of coon syrup?
Mm. No, I'm a pass. I'm a pass on that. You can.
I'm good.
She told me to take a shot of coon syrup. I'm gonna pass on that one. Call finally. Yeah, I don't know what it was. It was fine, and then I just went to pull up the comments and it said reconnecting.
I bet it's this ice.
Probably. Have you looked lately?
That's what. No, it's not. It's probably 2 or 3.
That's 2 inches. That's 3 inches.
Okay, maybe it's 1 or 2.
One. You went from 3 inches to 1 inch.
I don't know.
You don't know. But got any of my wife's beers left? Yeah, I drank all those mangoes. I think she actually drank the last one. She told me she was gonna gag it down because she is not a. She didn't like it. 3 to 1 inches must be cold.
Who said that?
Scab, the old island boy.
I don't know. It's hard to tell on the porch.
Hard to tell on the porch. It's not gonna be on the porch.
Well, on the
You
bricks.
can probably see it out the window. What? I don't know. You're at work? Eh. I'm sorry, Jay. I still think it's funny that my cousin that I've never even personally met is your boss. It still blows my mind. My mom told me that. I said I don't think so. I know it's a small world, but I don't think it's quite that small. She's like, yeah, he said it to him. By work, do you mean working on a fifth? Uh, I had sent Trapper J a half gallon, and he finished it on his uncut live video. What was that about a week and a half ago? And then he shot it with a 12 gauge. So that was very interesting. Interesting live that was. What time is it anyway?
10:40.
10:40. Wait. Jay, don't you go to work at like 9 o'clock? You gotta go to bed. Hope you can now. Well, good luck on going to bed this time, Brian. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah. I think my wife has a couple of her beers left. I have a couple beers in the fridge.
You got 2, but you're not drinking them.
I didn't say I was. I haven't drank a beer in like a week.
Like Friday.
Yeah, it's been a week. I don't drink a whole lot, Jay. I'm not, what is it? I guess, Jay, his live videos are like the, life of the party kind of thing. I think that's why he started doing them a little earlier in the day. Because there for a long time he was doing his lives at like, he's going live about 10:30, 11. Now he goes live at like 7:30. He always says the internet veteran's the one that gets him to go live. And then once he goes live, internet veteran never gets on, is what he says. And then every now and then, internet veteran will super chat him $5 to take a shot. And then before you know it, he's got a fifth going. But Trapper J and Internet Veteran made one of Iowa Trappers' lives very interesting a couple weeks ago. That was a good one. So. What's Scab been up to? people messing up his traps and confronting the people that did it. I said the video's on YouTube. I haven't got to watch it yet. That live should have been titled Anus Oil, yeah. So I'll tell him it's not anus oil, it's anise. Honest. People pronounce it anus, honest, all kinds of different stuff. Just call it the black licorice. Trapper harassment. Hey, I deal with that all the time on the old social media. I had a good one yesterday. I don't know if how many of you might have seen that on the Facebook, but was told me that I gave trapping a bad name because I didn't eat possums. And then he kept saying something about me being Indian. He should.
How does he know you're an Indian?
He doesn't. But he said something about Indians, and I said, I'm half Indian, and I don't see what that has to do with it. And then he kept bringing it up. You should tell Iowa Trapper that. He should come out with his own line. He could have his own line of all essential oils. I know he's got a lot of skunk essence. Indian? How drunk was he? I don't know. Hey, I am Indian. I'm half Indian. I'm half Native American. Indian. He kept saying Native American. And once I said I was Indian, he started saying Indian. But he said that most Native Americans eat everything they catch. Possum, skunk, raccoon, whatever. I said, I'm half Indian, and I don't see what being Indian has anything to do with it. Well, he said that I give trappers a bad name because I don't eat what I catch. He said, if you're just trapping for fur...
The book is, it's in pineapple on little sugar, big sugar.
Yeah. But, he told me that I gave trappers a bad name because I didn't eat everything I caught. I told him, I said, yeah. But I told him, I said, I know lots of trappers that are 100 times better trappers than I am, and they don't eat fox, they don't eat coyote, they don't eat possum. I said, so in your mind, they're all bad trappers too, and they give trappers a bad name. And then somebody else commented and said that they would give him all their coyotes so he doesn't feel bad. And he said, I wouldn't eat coyotes. It's like you're sitting here talking to me saying I'm a bad trapper and give trapping a bad name because I don't eat all my catches. But then you say you wouldn't eat a coyote.
Hypocrite.
More of just a retard.
Dumbass.
It's somebody seeking attention's all it is. Yeah, Internet Veteran Scab had somebody cut his shock spring, JC Connor shock spring, with a sawzall and steal his trap. Yeah, I know a couple people that have tried coyote and they said never again. All I can say is coyotes stink, like really, really bad, and that's not something I want to eat. Never once in my life was I skinning a coyote and I thought, oh yes, I'm hungry, I want to eat that. Not once in my life. The bobcat was pretty good. It's not something I'm going to go out and target for food, but I'll cut the back straps out of all my bobcats and eat them. It's pretty good. Yeah, no BS Kindle, no BS K9 Extreme. Scab, you ever thought that maybe he was just a huge fan of Kindle straps and that's why he did it? What?
I need to put those brownies away.
Go for it. Yeah, some people are crazy. I've just in the last couple days. I don't know if it's because I'm been posting more videos to be seen by people, but the I'm not gonna say the leftist or anything like that, but what would you say? I don't know. I've had a lot of people come to me in the last few days about trapping. It's been kind of crazy. Like the lady that told me that I should at least use a kill trap so the animal doesn't have to suffer. And I said, it's people that think animals are suffering are the reasons why I can't use kill traps. I said, think about that. You're taking this traders out and saving wildlife, you're being responsible. Yeah, that's what I told guys. I said, do you kill flies, fleas, ticks, ants, roaches, snakes, spiders, mice? Do you eat them? Do you eat all of them? I mean, do you kill 10 flies and then put them on a sandwich and eat it? Like, well, I mean, if you're going to tell me you need to eat everything you kill, I mean, if you're going to go out and kill a copperhead in your yard, are you going to take it inside and eat it? You know, that did crow my mind, but then I took most psychedelics. Yeah. I do know if you watch a Flair on YouTube, he's got a couple videos of his catch, clean, and cook. He made sloppy crow once, and he said it was surprisingly good. They did badger, said it was good. I mean, I myself would never eat a crow, but he said it was pretty good. They made sloppy joes out of it. I think the problem with coyotes is that they fight the trap pretty hard and build up. Like that, I said the muscle might be those. Yeah, a lot of people. If you guys know Nick Biggs, he did a video a while back of trying coyote, and he said it was super super gamey. Crow was supposed to be delicious.
Good.
Man, I am crow Indian, and I won't even eat crow. So that says anything. Just I don't know. Just like possum, there's something about seeing something eat an animal carcass that is just rotting and been sitting for weeks. To see them sitting there eating it, I'm not thinking I'm gonna go shoot that animal off that 3-week-old cow, and I'm gonna go home cook it and eat it myself. Never in my mind would I ever think that. Like, just pass. There's plenty of squirrel, deer, rabbit, and everything else around here. I'm not gonna go eat a possum. Sorry. Yeah, Nick Biggs is cool. Uh, yeah. Say most coyotes, uh, I'd say probably out of the 17 I caught this year, 14 of them so. Stupid spam people. Uh, we both deleted it. But, yeah. I'd say probably 14 and 17 coyotes I caught. By the time I walked up to them, they just laid down on the ground and wouldn't move. So, most meat-eating animals really aren't that great to eat. Yeah, I've heard that. Even like bear, I've heard a lot of people say that bear is super greasy. The meat is super greasy. Yeah, I made Scabs a moderator on here, and oh, who else? I made somebody else one the other night.
Okay.
No, it wasn't Jay.
Iowa.
No, who was it? I don't know who it was. You're welcome. Bear is great if prepared correctly. Yeah, I hear that about coon too. A lot of people say if you get absolutely all the fat off a coon, it's great to eat. But I know if somebody cooked it for me and it was right in front of me, I'd probably try it. But I'm not gonna go out of my way to eat it. That's for sure. There's a lot of things. If somebody was to cook it and it was right in front of me, I would go ahead and try it just because it was there. So I've never had moose, so I wouldn't know if bear tasted like moose. Yeah. Uh, Chopper J said, was it on his last live video or something? I don't know, but he said that he sells all his coyotes on the carcass to a guy at his work. They're I don't know what nationality or whatever they are, but they eat them on the carcass. Said they cook them without, they don't gut them or nothing. They just cook them on a fire and eat
Sick.
them. He said he sells them $30 a piece.
That's sick.
Oh wow.
Maybe Jesus.
Moose tastes like slightly gamey deer. Yeah. Um, I do know I've had a little bit of elk, and it's pretty good. I've never had much. Like I've had elk jerky, and then uh, some like sliced deli meat from elk.
Did you have elk in Iowa?
Um,
The convention?
Maybe, I don't know. I thought there was deer. It might have been.
Well, they had deer steaks, and then what was that ground up stuff?
I don't know. Yeah, it might have been elk.
You ate it. I didn't eat it, so it wasn't.
They require a special transport license for live market. That's crazy. Kyle, where do they do that in India? Yeah, I think he said they were Indian, but I'm not real sure. Not me kind of Indian. But yeah, I know a lot of people sell like their raccoons. They'll sell them down south for $10 a piece. Sell the carcass. When you're talking $2, $3 fur, $1, 50 cents a dollar for the pecker and all that. $10 for the body is pretty good. Of course, they need their cut too. Yeah. That's for sure. They're always looking for their cut of money. He never works with some Asians that want auditing. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, raccoons eat a lot of garbage, just like possums.
That's not cute.
I mean, possums are disgusting. But there's a lot of things I would like to try. I'll eat some of them.
I'm wrapping it and putting it away.
Why?
Because if not, I'm going to sit here and eat it all.
That's why you made it, isn't it?
Not in one night.
Yeah. It's one of those things, I mean, you shouldn't feel like you're going to get a ticket when you get a hold of the the game commissioner, the game warden, or even the cops for that matter. But it's like most people, it's their natural feeling. Like when you're driving and you see a cop, most of the time it's your natural feeling to go, oh crap, what's he gonna get me for this time?
I'm surprised the cop didn't get me today.
I mean, we have a town, Pineville, that's only about 5 minute drive from us. The cops are always in there. I mean, they're like, just I don't know, they're like ants on an anthill, like, and they all just sit, $75 worth of donuts and pop sitting in their car. What? Well, they do. You can drive by at 7 in the morning, and there'll be a cop sitting in this one spot. Go back later, 4 in the evening, and that cop is still sitting in that same spot. Ain't moved. All the time, they'll have people pull up, talk to him, drive off, whatever. And I mean, the speed limit's 40. If you're going 40 and a half, they're pulling you over.
And they'll tell you you're pull you over and say you're not doing the speed limit when you are.
There's something to be said about disease control, moving live wild animals from one place to another. It all depends. God, I mean, I definitely wouldn't say you need to go a long distance, but I know it's almost one of those things. If I was doing live market, I would almost want to trap them and have the person that's buying them from me come get them. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I caught 5 coyotes today. Come get them. I'm not gonna bring them to you. You come get them. That's my thought. So what if you give me a little bit less money? It's a lot less work I gotta do.
Nothing to drink.
Yeah.
What? Pink.
Okay. So do some tea. That's fine. That's fine. Just no. That's fine.
Doesn't matter.
Huh? Well, I feel like I'm drinking a lot of this in the last 2 days.
It's because you're drinking 2 gallons.
I know.
Oh, yeah. I made it twice yesterday.
Definitely, but it also comes with extra requirements. You gotta take it just out of the trap alive. That's dumb. So you're saying, see, that can be taken different because now you're saying that if they say you can't take the animal out of the trap alive, they're saying you can't release an animal. Yeah, I would not eat a fox. I would not eat a coyote, possum. Now, I do. There's a guy that used to go to my church that I've known my whole life really well. He told me one of his favorite things to eat was skunk. Skunk and rattlesnake was his favorite thing to eat. He was from Oklahoma. As an ADC trapper, I'm not allowed to let the animals go on another piece of property. I've heard that actually. That you're. It's one of those things. A lot of people think you need to trap animals and then take them somewhere and release them. But it's like you're trapping a problem animal that someone's been having problems with. So why would you trap it and then take it somewhere else and release it so it's someone else's problem? Because, okay, say if someone's having a problem with raccoon getting in their garbage or their house. If you trap that raccoon, take it somewhere else and let it out. That raccoon's been around garbage. It's been in someone's house. So it's going to want to go find someone else's garbage in someone else's house and go get in it. That's not really the best way. I think a lot of states pretty much tell you that you're supposed to euthanize the animal that you catch. You've eaten rattlesnake, absolutely delicious. Like a bunch of chicken. Yeah, never had any kind of snake, and I don't know. I don't know. It's just one of those things. I mean, if it was there, I'd probably eat it, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to eat it. It's not worded that way, but in order to have the animal alive in your possession, you need the transport permit. You are also required to give it medical attention if needed. See, I know somebody today that caught a coyote and tried to give it a shot, and the coyote bit him. So the coyote is now headless, getting tested for rabies. Yeah,
Your daughter.
I can't help her.
I'm not going to sleep.
She always is. That's how she always is. Yeah, I don't know about that. See, I've thought about it. I always thought having a couple coyotes and fox in a pen for to collect urine and stuff would be cool, but a lot of places you can't do it. You got 21 thumbs up, so that's cool. Means at least 21 people have got on and somewhat interacted with us.
Oh, your wife wasn't one of them.
Huh?
Said your wife wasn't one of them.
Don't surprise me.
I typically get on your lives.
Okay.
But I'm sitting here next to you, so I don't feel like I need to.
Okay. So who all in here right now still has traps out? See, I've heard a couple people that's had alligator. That says if you have alligator, like fresh alligator, it's really good. But if it sits at all, it's not that good. Got bit by a young coon a couple of years ago. Was trying to release. It was midnight behind the house. He didn't make it. I just kept him around the house. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really let anything go because everywhere I trap is places that people are having problems with whatever said animal. Um, Say the place that the last property I was on, my friend, he's a huge deer hunter, and he hunts his big deer, and he was wanting coyotes removed big time because he was seeing tons and tons and tons of coyotes. And I ended up taking 11 of them off his place, which, I wish I could have taken more, but, I really only started catching them the last, like, week and a half that I was set there. So, it is what it is. And the guy that actually owns that land, I found out that he is a big turkey caller. Like, he likes to, I guess he enters, like, turkey calling contests, and he likes to go out there and he'll just sit and call turkeys. Like, he don't hunt them or nothing, but he'll sit there and call turkeys and just watch them. And I guess every now and then he'll take people with him to uh, shoot a turkey or something, but he just likes to call them. And that's actually how Michael Waddell got into the hunting industry big time. Is he was at a turkey calling competition, and David Blanton was there and heard him calling and really liked how good he was, I guess you could say, and started talking to him, really liked him, and that's how he got started with Realtree, and now he's like the most known hunter ever. Scab, Cat Whacker. You guys got traps in the ground still? Internet veteran, nothing in the ground, unfortunately. Yeah, my season ended Monday, so I don't have anything, but I've kind of thought about getting into the, yeah, Booger Bottom, Georgia. He sure did. No. Every time I see his name, it reminds me of the old, what do they used to call it? I don't remember. It used to be some old videos from the late 90s, early 2000s with Jeff Foxworthy. But there's one with Michael Waddell on there. It's one of Michael Waddell's big bucks, and Jeff Foxworthy goes up to it, and he's like, I shot a buck. Michael Waddell's like, what are you doing? That's my buck. He's like, that's not your buck. He's like, yeah, it is. It's got my name on it. He said, what's your name? He said, Michael Waddell. He said, this one says Michael Waddle. He said, no, this is Michael Waddell. I was like, no, this says Michael Waddle. Every time I see his name, that's what comes to mind is that clip from that video from 20 years ago. I can't remember what those videos were called, but they were funny. Who are my favorite hunters? Oh, I mean, that's hard to say, to really put a name on it. There's people that I like that are really great people. There's a few people that I've met that I've actually got to talk to that are really cool, like Tiffany and Lee Lukoski. I've got to meet them, and they're really cool people. Lee is very, very smart. He's definitely good at managing in deer, and he knows a lot. But I would say overall, if I was going to pick somebody to go hunting with that I think I can learn a lot from and have a lot of fun with, it would be Mark Drury. I think Mark Drury is one of the smartest deer hunters out there. He's one of the, I want to say, originals. Yes, Lee is a tremendous deer manager. Yes, he is. But, I mean, out of everything I've ever watched in my time or got to pay attention to, I definitely say that the Drury brothers are definitely... Mark Drury mostly is probably one of the best out there. Jim Shockey. See, my thing with Big Shockey is, or Jim Shockey is to me, he's a lot like the other ones. He does do a lot. He shoots a lot of animals, but I think he's pays for them. Like when he goes to Alaska and all these places, Canada, he's paying money to go to these places where there's these big animals, and then he shoots them. That's kind of what he does. And a lot of the hunting videos you see nowadays or hunting shows, that's mostly what it is. It's, hey, I'm whatever my name is, I'm on whatever deer farm. We're here hunting this buck that's been seen on camera for the last 2 weeks. We're hoping to shoot him. 2 days later, boom, I shot him. Show's over. I mean, that gets old fast, you know. I have a lot of respect for like Michael Waddell and what he's done, but most of his, that's what it is. They just go from farm to farm, property to property, shooting the biggest buck they got, and they just keep going. I really like Nick Munt. But again, you know, they just go property to property, shooting the biggest buck that they have, and that's it. Yes, I have heard of Stan Potts. I used to watch a whole lot of his videos back in the day. I love watching Stan Potts shoot a deer. I mean, there's nothing. About every time he shoots a deer, you're gonna have to give me a second, and it's hilarious. Do any of you guys know who the hunting grounds are? Have any of you guys ever seen or heard of them? Well,
I doubt it.
you'd be surprised. Is there one person in here that's heard of the hunting grounds?
I'll give you this peanut butter coon syrup if you do.
Mm.
This one's sticky.
There's a lot of good people in the hunting industry. But I think Mark Jury's one of the just like smartest people out there. Yeah, Jim Shockey and his daughter. Yeah. The hunting grounds, they have a pretty good sized YouTube channel. They had
Lay down.
I think they had a TV show for about a year on Dish.
Lay down.
But the Stephen Fuller, which is the main guy, he's a like ambassador for Spy Point trail cameras and does a lot of their commercials. He does. I think he does about all the commercials for. My mind is drawing a blank again. The boots.
I know. I don't know.
Hmm.
Give me a second. I'll go look.
It's like right on the tip of my tongue, but I can't think of it.
It's like wet seal or something.
No. I don't know. But he does a lot of the commercials for Spy Point, and he's a big ambassador for them. And I don't know why I can't think of the boot.
It's not Muck.
No, Muck used to be the big brand, but they're really not anymore. Dry Shod. He makes all the commercials for Dry Shod boots. You're not too impressed with Spy Point cameras, 40 pics a day, nothing. I think some of the Spy Points are good and some are not really that good.
You better get in bed and lay down.
But I think a lot of their newer cameras, I think a lot of their newer cameras are, I would say newer, but I think they have a lot of lower cost cameras that are pretty nice now. But the hunting grounds, anyways, they're actually from here, and I know them all. Stephen Fuller, he's actually one of my really good, or not Stephen Fuller, Scotty Flippo is one of my really good friends. Stephen Fuller, I know him. I haven't talked to him a ton, but I've talked to him quite a few times. But Scotty Flippo, he's one of my real good friends that I've known for years and years and years and years. He has the biggest trapping YouTube channels other than Trapper J 330. Coon Creek has a pretty good one. Trap Lines and Inlines. I just got two this year. Great pics. Takes pics for no reason using stock data. A lot of times, with like trail cameras, if you're near a tree or grass, if the grass is blowing like this, that camera will pick that up. Or if you have a tree limb that's blown and it's going like that, the camera will pick that up and take a picture. Because they'll spot that movement and they'll take a picture. But yeah, some of the bigger trapping YouTubes that I know of is 330 Maniac, Trapper J, Coon Creek, Trap Lines and Inlines. He quit trapping last week. See, I've never even watched I don't think I've ever even watched a full one of his videos, but I know who he is. Like I've watched a bunch of his videos but never finished one. Yeah.
It's almost to the top, the bottom of the propane tank.
But there's really not a whole lot of YouTube trappers that
You
are,
better lay down.
you know, in the 40, 50, 60,000 subscriber range. There's a lot of them in the 5 to 10,000 range. But yeah, once you get up to the, you know, 50, 60, 70,000, there's really not a ton of them. He is great. That has that unique person, yeah. Alright, Coyote Whacker. Have a good night, man. Thanks for stopping in to talk with us. Wild North, yeah. There's Nicholas Green Outdoors. He does some trapping. And like I said, Flair, he does some trapping videos. You know, he's not a trapping channel, but he does do some trapping videos. He has 2.5 million subscribers. I'm not sure about that. Scab, if you go on YouTube or Facebook, look up the hunting grounds and message him. Because he can help you out with anything, any questions you have at Spy Point. He's been one of their big ambassadors and stuff for like 4 or 5 years. I'm trying to think of all the trapping, the bigger channels in my mind. There's a bunch of them that are around 5,000 and less. I mean, bunches and bunches and tons and tons and tons. But yeah, once you're talking about getting way up there, there's really not a bunch of them. Alright, sounds good. Yeah, the trap lines and inlines, that, I don't know. I know it's different up in Canada, but it definitely did seem a little, from what I watched, a lot of it seemed staged. If that makes sense. And I don't see how someone that has a um, trapping channel that's called Trap Lines and Inlines can just quit trapping. Yeah, if you look up the Montana Wolf Trapper, Paul, he's a really good guy. He's got some pretty cool videos on there. Nick Biggs has a good one. Greg Staggs, yeah, Montana Wolf Trapper, that's Paul. Greg Staggs is Staggs in the Wild. He really hasn't done any trapping videos this year, which is a little bit of a disappointment, but there's a lot of channels out there under 10,000 subscribers. I mean, I could go on for days naming them, but the big ones, there's really not a ton of them. I'm not sure why. I think a lot of it has to do with, I think a lot of the channels, they hit it hard in trapping season, so for about 2 or 3 months, and then they kind of just give up after trapping season, and then pick it up when trapping season comes again. Well, that don't work with YouTube's algorithm. You gotta constantly be posting videos for them to recommend your stuff out to people and whatnot. Rex Trapper. I don't think I've ever heard of Rex Trapper. Name the under 10,000 channels. So you got Big Stump Trapping. You got Stags in the Wild. Asher Bros Outdoors. Of course, you got Mark J. Larson, Boxy Outdoors. I don't know if I said you got Nicholas Green Outdoors. He's got quite a few subscribers. I think he's got close to 1 million subscribers, something like that. But his is not all trapping. You got Owls Outdoors. Dwayne Lazar. Yeah. You got, of course, you got Dunlap and their YouTube channel. Uh, you got North American Trapper with Alan Probst. He's been posting quite a few trapping videos lately. Uh, Trying to think. You got the Asian Trapper. He's from Missouri. Man, I'm just trying to. You got Ohio Trapper. Uh, trapping in the Ozarks. You like long videos or short videos? I think it depends. Uh, Long videos are great if it's interesting. A lot of people will have like 25-minute videos, but 20 minutes of it will be like them just walking around. So it's hard to get a good um, average view time, I guess you'd say it, with that. Uh, that's why a lot of my videos are around the 10-minute mark, just because I don't want to have just a lot of um, I try not to do a lot of me talking, because I know that I don't say it's not interesting to people, but it's not what a lot of people tune in to see. A lot of people want to see the catches. So I'll show the catches and I'll show the remake. A lot of times, if I see something unique, I'll put that in the video. Different information, like if I'm going to make a different set, I'll have me talking about the set or something like that. But I try not to do too many videos of like me just talking or walking around or something like that, because that's usually when you lose your viewers. That's when you'll have like a 14-minute video and your average view duration will be 2.5, 3 minutes, because people are going to skip through and just look at your um, the highlights of the video pretty much. So, like I said, there's tons of trapping channels out there that I've seen, and even the ones that I've subscribed to and watched, but it's hard to think of them all off the top of my head. I don't think I don't think I can look through YouTube while on the live video. It's how too long is okay. Yeah, say if you're straight up like talking about how you're gonna do something or why you do something, talking, there's no problem with it. But there's a lot of people that will do videos of like literally there'll be 20, 30-second breaks of them just walking, and all you can hear is them breathing. That is not going to be something people want to watch. And see, like Iowa Trapper, that's what he has going for him big time. He catches big numbers of coons and stuff. So his clips are coon, 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 coon. It's constant action. So a 20-minute video for him goes by real quick. Even like when he was doing his water line, he's uh, checking trap, 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 trap. That he's showing that it's not just him walking through the field or something like that. Yeah, as a community, yeah, because the problem with a lot of the teenagers is, well, I won't say problem with the teenagers. The problem with a lot of like their YouTubes and stuff they want to do is people get on their channels and they expect to see, Trapper J, Coon Creek, stuff like that. When you're talking about people that have been trapping 1 year, 2 year, and they're 14, 15, 16. They don't know a whole lot yet. They're basically beginners. So if you're watching the video of what they're doing, they're honestly probably learning just as much as you, if not more, while they're doing that video. So I don't know. I think it's hard to really say why some channels do great, some channels don't. You can always say there's this reason or that reason or that reason, but it's hard to tell. A lot of times it has to do with you got to mix up your content because, um, see, like, say 330 Maniac, he does a lot of fishing and he does a lot of beaver trapping. So he's got two worlds that follow his channel. Uh, Same thing with like Coon Creek. His is mostly trapping, but it's not just checking traps. It is he does a whole lot of skinning videos, a whole lot of fleshing videos, a whole lot of trapping videos, all kinds of stuff. And another thing he's got going for him is he doesn't have a 3-year-old channel that he's been trying to work on. He's had his channel for a decade. He's one of the originals that started the trapping YouTube. So, he's definitely worked hard to get where he's at. Uh, so it's hard to just put one reason why somebody does good and one doesn't. Yeah. So I watch a lot of Anthony's videos. Some of them I end up missing just because I'm always so freaking busy. I mean, a lot of times, like,
You need to get in your bed and go to sleep.
I watch them. What I'm referring to is the ones just starting out, like right now. Popping out LTO. He's just getting into it. We're in the same state, but hours away. Hey, Bluegrass, how you doing? Yeah, there's... It's hard. The best thing I could say if you're wanting to just find a bunch of uh, different uh, channels to watch, go to the... if you go to the YouTube search, just type in trapping, and then you can go to the... you can... What is it called?
Filter.
Yeah, the filter. Go to the filter, and you can change it to whether you want it to be videos, channels, whatever. If you put it on channels, it's gonna pop up it's gonna pop up trapping channels that are just trapping. Yeah, LTO, he's always in there. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are always in Trapper J's lives in Iowa. You got Mark J. Larson's always in there. Boxy's always in there. Well, yeah, I'm always in there. But Judith and Dan Davis, you always got them in there. I said it's one of those things. It's hard to start naming channels because I know I'm gonna forget 20 of them, and then I don't want the one person to feel bad because they didn't see their channel mentioned. Yeah. So I watch Boxy. I've been watching him for about a month. I've watched his last 3 lives that he does on Sundays. I actually donated some stuff to him to give away to some kids. Me and Trapper J did. Yeah, I've watched some of Mark J's Larson's videos. There's a big difference between a lot of people that are in those lives. I'm always in there to kind of hang out and talk with everybody, but I'm always there to learn and help as much as I can. If I see somebody ask a question, if I know the answer, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna comment it on there. I'm definitely not the guy with all the information that can help anybody, but I try my best. You know, Trapper Jay is definitely the one to ask for trapping. If you were gonna ask me or him, ask him. Um, so I've been watching a lot more trapping channels on TikTok. So I get them mixed up in my head sometimes. The names. Yeah, I can't. If I could look through YouTube while on the live video, I could do that, but it won't let me. I can see some of the ones that I'm subscribed to and stuff. Um, oh, there's another one. What's his name? There's another one that I watch quite often. I can't think of his name though. The line streams to be a positive force in sport trappers and it for everyone. Yeah. See, I try to help as much as I can. I might not always be the most interesting person to talk to, but a lot of trapping info is really regional though. Big learning curve when I started trapping like that. Yeah. Surprisingly with TikTok, I've not had any of my uh, catch videos taken down. I posted a video of my 18-month-old daughter shooting a 22 with me. It got taken down. I posted a video of it's on YouTube. It's the coyote that I caught that has like 2 inches of fat on it. That video got taken down, and I got restricted for that one. And then the other day, I posted my commercial on TikTok, and it got taken down and restricted, and I was restricted for 2 or 3 days on that one. I just got out of that today. I appreciate that, Internet Veteran. So I try to do my best. So I'm definitely no Trapper J or Coon Creek, but I try to do my best. So it's posted a video of a vocal coyote and they took it down, no blood or anything. So yeah, that's crazy. See, most of the videos I have of my catches is the video of me driving up or walking up, and then the video always ends about the time I get to the animal. So I don't have the animal jumping around in the trap in my video. It's usually me driving up to the trap. Most of them are just me driving up to the trap. So, and I've had my TikTok for about a month, maybe a little over a month, 4 or 5 weeks. And I have about 1,300 followers on it, which is surprising. To me, TikTok is the easiest platform and the hardest platform at the same time because it's the easiest platform to get followers and views on your videos, but it's the hardest to get a video on there that will stay on there, if that makes sense. Because like I said, I've had my account for 4 or 5 weeks and I've been restricted 3 times, and they say that it kind of says the next time I get restricted that I might be restricted. My whole profile will be restricted from really doing anything but viewing videos. So I appreciate that, Internet Veteran. There's a lot of good trapping supply companies out there. The problem with it is I think a lot of them try to get into it strictly for the money. And trapping supply business is a very, 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 very hard life. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It is a hard life, and there's not a ton of money in it. I've been dealing traps for 3.5 years. Uh, I used to have an outdoor store, and I was Ozark Trophy Hunters. I used to have a hunting group, YouTube, Facebook, all kinds of stuff. Ozark Trophy Hunters, and I started my outdoor store under that name. And I started dealing traps in 2018 there, and I learned a lot about trapping in 2018, and that's the first year I've trapped. Uh, I've never been in it for the money. Of course, I'm in it for the money a little bit because the person has to survive. But I've never thought, hey, I'm going to sell traps to become rich, because that's just not going to happen. I mean, you look at all the trapping supply companies out there and look at how many are out there and how many are big, like F&T, like Minnesota and all them. And if you look at F&T, at Fleming, at Minnesota, at Hoosier, all of them, what do they all have in common? They all have their own baits and lures. They all have, a lot of them make their own tools or whatever, because that's really where their money's coming from. You don't make money on, you don't really make money on traps. I don't make very much money on a lot of the tools and stuff. There's not much money in. So I make most of my money from the supply industry and my baits and lures that I sell, and even the ones that I get, like Dunlaps, Mark Junes, all that. There's more money in baits and lures than there is in anything. And most people nowadays are making their own baits and lures, so they don't even order it anymore. So that really makes it hard to a lot of the people. There's a lot of uh, trap and supply places that have slowed down a lot and gotten a lot smaller than they used to be. I'll keep it real with people. I'm not gonna lie like a lot of them. Does that make sense? Yeah, PA, I'm still here. Just talking. As long as there's one or two people in here to listen to me, I'll be here, I guess. All about trying to help people get started, but I don't have all the answers, but I show just what seems to work for me. Yeah, Bluegrass, a lot of times the best thing you can do to help anybody is recommend a good like YouTube channel for them, YouTube video, uh, a book. If someone has a question, you don't always have to try to give them the answer to the question. If someone says, "Hey, I've been trying to catch a coyote. This is what's happening. I have a problem." Like, oh, hey, I've seen that. I've seen a video about that on Coon Creek. Uh, Here, I'll find the video and I'll send it to you. You know, you're helping the person you're talking to, you're helping yourself, and you're helping Coon Creek. So you're helping three trappers right there. And it took, 5 minutes. You're helping all three of you. So you don't always have to be the one with the answers. A lot of times advice just comes from telling people where to find the answer. Phone's been playing the whole time I was cooking supper. Appreciate that, PA. But I'm asking, what is your price on the Duke 550s? So, on the 550s, they retail for 165. What is it? I want to say my price on them is 149. It's like $14 on a dozen. something like that. It might be 142. I think it's closer to like 18 bucks. Uh, most traps, the way you can look at it, and a lot of people are probably going to be mad if I say it, but every trap you look at, say if you have a dozen traps that cost $100, that dealer or whatever is more than likely making 10 bucks. If it costs $200, that dealer whatever is probably making 20 bucks. Most traps, the traps that I do make good money on are the ones that don't ever sell, like the Bridger number 9 Brawn traps. There's good money in those traps. I've been doing this for 3.5 years and I've sold 6. So, yeah, I don't know. And a lot of the traps that you do make a little more money on, you lose it on shipping. Not much. Been up late tonight, was cooking burgers, been watching this guy. 3 hours left to chat for a bit, yeah. Yeah, I've been on here for a bit.
Yeah.
I ain't got nothing better to do though. If I wasn't here talking to you guys, I'd probably be watching somebody else's YouTube video or on Facebook
Right.
trying to help somebody find equipment they need. Normal, bro, yeah. Say my retail value on the Duke 550s, the absolute lowest I could sell them is 155, and right now they are out of stock, and I'm not sure when they'll be back. I've been told March, I've been told end of January, I've been told middle of February. So, yeah, a lot of the traps there just isn't any money in them. Yeah, Bridger number 9 will hold the cow. Yeah, it'll probably hold a moose. I had a Duke number 3 I caught a calf in this year that held it. Restaurants work on a whole lot more than 25% margin, I promise you that. I was a chef for 6 years and I ran a kitchen for a while. There's a lot of money in, well, if you know what you're doing, there's quite a bit of money in a kitchen. The problem with it is most people don't know what they're doing. And most of your profit has nothing to do with the price of your food, honestly. It has to do with how well you work, how well you get your employees to work, how you conduct your business, how you handle your food, how you store your food, especially if you sell booze, yeah. Now, there is quite a bit of money. The problem with like alcohol, there's quite a bit of money in it, for like bars and stuff, but the insurance is crazy. So that's what a lot of people don't realize, doing what I do, if I get an order for 300 bucks, I've caught 28 utes for this season. Yeah, I definitely want to get more traps next year. I want to try to get about 2 dozen more traps, at least coyote traps to run next year. But, so for the most part, say if I get a order for $300 and if they mix it up between traps and baits, I could make profit, well, I say profit, close to say maybe 50 bucks. The problem with that is, if on that order I will charge $25 for shipping. Well, if someone orders a dozen traps and, baits and lures or whatever, it's going to cost me close to 35 bucks to ship that box. So now I've lost, almost $10 on that profit that I would have made. and then you're going to go into however you take your payment. So on the website, if people pay PayPal, $300 on PayPal, PayPal is going to take about 20 bucks, 15, 20 bucks. Square app, which is if you pay with a card or something, they're going to take close to 20 bucks, 15, so 15 bucks or so. So, out of that original order for 300 bucks that I would have made 50 bucks on, I lost $10 on the shipping, so now I'm at 40. PayPal or whatever took 15, so now I'm at, 25, say I'm at 30 bucks now. So now I'm just 10% margin on that. Well, I also had to pay to get that stuff shipped to me, so there's not a ton of money in it. When you get to be Minnesota and F&T, where they get 30, 40 orders a day at least, you can do pretty good. Some of the smaller guys that, get maybe 2 orders a day, it makes it a lot harder. Probably 80 to 90% of my sales are me helping people out on Facebook that have questions about whatever, that are wanting to get into trapping, or they're wanting to expand their trapping. They have a lot of questions. A lot of those people I'll end up talking to for a full day, and we'll end up working an order up. And that's what a lot of my orders are. Just the last month or so, I've gotten to where I'm starting to somewhat consistently get orders online. And that's just from, slowly getting the name out. Uh, we went to 6 conventions last year, and I've sponsored all kinds of people. I've donated lots of stuff to different events and whatnot. I've put a lot of money in getting my name out. Yeah, F&T in Minnesota have been around for lots and lots and lots of years. And Mark both at 28, yeah. So, that's just kind of my thing. I don't know. It's a great life, and I wouldn't change anything, but it's definitely a hard one. So, you guys have any more questions for me? Because I can definitely tell you, I am here for, I'm here for the customer. I'm here to helping the trapping industry out. I'm here to help people that wanting to get into trapping or have been trapping. That's what I'm here for. Hope you got a jump. Hope you got a yoke jumping around in one of your traps right now. That'd be nice. Probably do. I wish I had traps out that I could have coyotes in.
She's about to do something.
The best bait to use. You know what I've been telling people nowadays? People always say, what's the best bait and lure to use? I tell them, your best bait is location, and the best lure is proper trap bedding. Yeah, say if you're having weather like we are, the last 2 nights would have definitely been nights to be catching fur. With all the snow and stuff coming in, they're definitely going to be moving. Internet veteran, yes I can. Yes. I think they're, off the top of my head, I'm not 100% sure how much they are. I want to say they're right around 85 bucks. And I know all you guys have probably heard about me from Trapper J live videos and stuff like that. I can say Trapper J has honestly me personally and business wise has helped me more than most anybody out there. So I definitely owe Trapper J a lot, and I try my best to take care of him because he's done a lot for me. So he's definitely a good dude. There's been a lot of people I've met that's helped me out a lot. Yeah. Say weather has a whole lot to do with animal movement. It doesn't matter if you're hunting, trapping, fishing, whatever you're doing. Weather affects it a lot. Like you're looking at hard rain for 2 days and then ice and snow on top. Yeah. I didn't have. That's fine. Uh, for the end of February. Email me through site setup. That's fine. So you can get hold of me however on the. I'm pretty much on every social media but Twitter. I hate Twitter. And then you can email me from the website. The warm up you're having, you're gonna have possum to and one more. Tell you what, my big possum that I caught this year was worth more than any of my raccoons I've caught. Yep. First raccoon I ever skinned. I never thought I would because they're just nasty, but he was a big one. We make them depending on how thick the ice is. So I've never really had to worry about the ice here. So that's my phone at. 49%. You guys want to go outside and see how much snow we got now? I'm going to go out there and see how much snow we got now. Tomorrow afternoon, late. You want to go see the snow?
I don't have shoes and it's cold.
No.
My daughter is fighting sleep.
Well, she ain't going outside.
No, but I may have to just make her.
Oh boy. Yeah, when I first did this live, there was not any on the ground. And I'd say we're in between 3 and 4. So this is my big shop. All my trapping baits, lures, supplies. I have everything in there. I can smell a skunk and it smells amazing. Yeah, I'd say we're close to 4 inches now. Still coming down pretty good too. Said that we could be getting, somewhere around 10 inches, possibly 12. So, said about an inch an hour, and it's supposed to beaver and otter jumped in price. It's crazy because that's like coyotes. I've been looking at a lot of the different state fur auction sales they've been having, and there'll be one state where they're like not selling coyotes whatsoever. The next state they're getting, they're averaging 12, 15 bucks. So. I didn't mean to hit that button. Dried and stretch beaver can get up to 25.
How much?
We're getting close to 4 inches right now. That's out there.
Your daughter's finally asleep.
But, alright, guys, I appreciate you all getting on here and listening to me forever. You've got 10 orders. That's crazy. A lot of states, if they do let you catch an otter, they only allow one. Yeah. Yeah, possums will plug up set, but the big one I got was worth more than the raccoons. So if I could get a bunch of them big possums, I'd rather catch them than the raccoons. Don't really matter to me because they both need managed, but I didn't keep track of possums, but at least in between 20 and 30 of them, and only one of them was super big to skin, and 2 or 3 of them were decent size, but the rest of them were just itty bitty. He got one after seasoning the 330. I had to give it to the game commission. Yeah, it's funny because I hear a lot of those game commissions. When you do that, they skin them and sell them. Had a 200 order season, lose about 20 minutes for me. That's crazy. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this one go until it hits the 4-hour mark, which is in 45 seconds. So, but I appreciate you guys getting on here talking.
4 hours?
Got 21 thumbs up, so that means 21 people got on and had some interaction with us. That's pretty cool. Appreciate you guys coming on. Not sure what I got going on tomorrow, but
What, nothing? Or snowed in?
I'll continue to do lives even throughout the summer months and whatnot. Just kind of chat, answer any questions people have, help out as much as I can. So, 22 thumbs up. All right, I appreciate it, guys. Again, thanks for hopping on. Hope you guys have a great night, great rest of your trapping seasons, and thank you guys. Later.